Tuesday, August 25th, today caught in the middle as Canada makes ready to retaliate for punishing U.S. tariffs. Reaction from Manitoba businesses feeling the pressure of the trade war. Also today, preparation instead of patchwork. What a new report says about the Canadian response to wildfires and evacuations and how to prepare for the next season. Plus, ready for a swinging good time. Morton's Minnewaska Golf Course tees up for a new chapter after the clubhouse was devastated by fire twice. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley is live at a really cool location today, the Mint. She's going to get a tour inside and outside. And we're going to find out a little bit more about the kind of work that they do there. We know that it's very important for Canadian currency, but they also do currency for many other parts of the world. So we're going to find out about that, but it's also a big milestone this year. So we're going to celebrate with them as they venture on their 50th anniversary.
Wow.
But yesterday the weather was pretty nice. A little bit of rain in the morning, but it cleared up pretty nicely last night.
And yeah, some portions, I don't know if you saw those severe thunderstorm warnings come in. Some folks got a little bit of action. I was asleep, I must cop to that, but we did have a little bit of thunderstorming in Winnipeg. It looks like we're kind of dealing with very similar conditions today. More chance of some instability, more chance of rain on the horizon for much of the province, not just us here in Winnipeg. It's currently 16 degrees, decently overcast to kick us off. Winds out of the west-southwest, currently at 10 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 91%. So yes, you can see this low pressure system has really lost a good amount of its might. However, it's swirling really around that southwest corner. Areas in and around Dauphin Swan River extending all the way up to the Paw. You have a good chance of some rain and thunderstorms. As we pull out to our futurecast, you can also see the amount of cloud coverage we have as well. As the day begins, we start to see those clouds break up, but that system swirls and pushes off further into the Red River Valley. So likely us in Winnipeg could be getting some rain and thunderstorms this morning or early afternoon. It could also last overnight. As you see, it starts to dissipate slightly en route over the border while the north starts to clear out. Us tomorrow, we'll also start to see our skies clear out and our temperatures start to rebound, because today is going to be a little bit cooler than what we got yesterday. Yesterday was balmy, above seasonal, 26 degrees. Today, just 22 with that risk of thunderstorms. And then into tomorrow, as we start to clear out nicely, we start to rebound, a high of 24 degrees. By Thursday, we're clearing out even more. But by Saturday, we are dealing with a good amount of cloud coverage and a low chance of showers to close out the weekend. But the good news is that temperatures staying steady as we enjoy those last couple of weeks of August.
Thank you, Catherine. Manitoba businesses find themselves caught in the middle. An escalating trade war between Canada and the United States is putting pressure on folks here at home. Talks broke down late last week after the Prime Minister said unfair demands were made by the American delegation. Now, impacted industries are dealing with new 50% U.S. tariffs, plus incoming counter tariffs from Canada. CTV's Jeff Keel explains what this means for Manitobans.
Phil Veldos's honey is exported south. But because of the newly escalated trade war with the U.S., he says that door is shut.
A lot of Canadian honey will not cross the border. 50% tariff basically is like an embargo.
After the Canadian delegation pulled out of trade talks Friday, President Donald Trump moved forward with 50% tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Canadian goods, including honey. Veldos sells 90% of his honey to a cooperative, which in turn sells to markets, including the U.S.
I get paid from my cooperative based on their success in selling. So in a situation where they can't sell the honey, I don't get paid.
Over the weekend, the Prime Minister said last-minute demands from the American delegation were unacceptable. Now Carney is promising counter tariffs next month.
The government of Manitoba is 100% behind the Prime Minister's direction to retaliate against Donald Trump's unjustified and immoral tariffs.
All of this means Manitoba businesses are on the hook.
It is going to have an impact. There's no question about that, because there's a lot of businesses that simply can't make that pivot to simply say, okay, we're not going to do business with the U.S.
This airless tire manufacturer in Winnipeg is worried about Canadian counter tariffs hitting materials they have to import.
How do you continually grow and then all of a sudden now you have bigger bills, right? So especially when you look at those bills being tariffs, it's not like it's a small bill anymore, it's a pretty big bill. So I don't know what we would have to do, whether we'd have to, I don't know.
Owner Derek Hurd says he wants Canadian leaders to stop with the rhetoric and get back to the bargaining table.
This is elementary school stuff, and here we are, we have the leaders of the whole country just flinging off accusations and saying whatever they want. Well, I mean, come on, how is this going to work?
The province and federal government have both promised supports for impacted industries.
We're also listening to our business community and the workers are right across our province.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
On Monday, CTV News hit the street to find out how Winnipeggers are feeling about the collapse of those trade talks.
I think just, shut the door, lock them out, deal with it as it comes. Carney's doing the right thing, talking to everybody in Europe, talking to everybody in South America. I mean, there's lots of countries in this world. We do not have to be married to the United States.
I think it is relatively important, but we should also continue to options elsewhere in the world for our trade.
Most of the population is within 90 miles of the U.S. border. We're a big, big island, and the rest of our products go around the world, and it needs to go to the shortest distance. And it's just one person and a couple of people that are around him that don't realize the importance of their neighbor.
The province has put together a trade council made up of business and labor leaders with the aim, it says, of protecting jobs and supporting exporters. On Saturday, the Premier said the province will have supports for business, which could include things such as tax deferrals and shifting contracts to Canadian firms. We're expecting to learn today how Canada plans to hit back against the U.S. in this trade war.
We said if we weren't able to get to an agreement and President Trump's additional tariff burden was applied to the Canadian economy, it shouldn't surprise anybody that Canada would properly take the steps necessary.
Speaking on CNN last night, Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc described how talks fell apart last week. Sources have told CTV News Ottawa will announce its retaliatory tariffs against the U.S. today. 4 ministers will lay them out, including Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne. Prime Minister Mark Carney had said the dollar-for-dollar counter tariff will take effect on September the 8th, right after Labor Day. Yesterday, he called what the U.S. was offering a bad deal.
Could not accept what the U.S. had offered, nor could we give what they asked.
As for when trade talks may resume, Prime Minister Carney said Canada will return to the table when the U.S. has, quote, the right attitude. Members of the Trump administration blame Canada for walking away from the deal.
They were offered quite a good deal. They chose to reject it.
They came in with a bunch of unreasonable last-minute demands.
U.S. President Donald Trump has now threatened to raise tariffs on Canada's auto sector to 50% starting January the 1st. He also told Canadian leaders to, quote, fall in line or face consequences far worse than existing tariffs. A worker on the ground crew was seriously hurt after being hit by a plane at Montreal's Pierre-Elliott Trudeau Airport. This happened at around 7:30 last night. Emergency services were called after a person was hit by an airplane backing up on the tarmac. Crews were seen surrounding a plane from the carrier French B. Reports say passengers were taken off the plane at around 11:30 p.m. Montreal police say the incident will likely be investigated as a workplace accident. Big changes are coming to a park in northeast Winnipeg. Construction got underway Monday on a $6.1 million improvement project at Kilcona Park. It includes the demolition of some decaying buildings and signs, a new roadway and multi-use path through the park, and improvements to the off-leash dog area. Work on the road and pathways is expected to wrap up next fall, while the off-leash area should be ready by summer. However, dogs will need to stay on a leash until the road work is finished. The Royal Canadian Legion was created by veterans organizations a century ago right here in Winnipeg, and Ottawa is chipping in to help celebrate its centennial. Canada's Veterans Affairs Minister announced $300,000 from its commemorative partnership program for 75 projects marking the milestone. The projects recognize the contributions of veterans, their families, and communities, and deepen the understanding of the country's military history and the sacrifices made. They include exhibits, commemorative events, performances, and more.
Self-funded at the Legion, so anytime the Legion can receive a grant to do something special, well, that means a lot to us.
The Manitoba projects include a Belgian Independence Day parade, banners in Minnedosa and Gimli, and a Manitoba Métis Federation Royal Canadian Legion Centennial celebration. Here's a look at traffic now. Kenniston and Sterling Lion Way. It's just the start of the day. Things appear to be quite smooth starting off this morning. If you encounter any problems on your drive, please send us a text when it is safe and legal to do so. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's live this morning at the Mint. A cool place to visit, not just on the show, but in person if you get a chance to get a tour. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, you know what? There is an open house this weekend, and not just for any reason, to commemorate 50 years. And what a better way to do that than this amazing coin. There have been 50 years of making coins here in Manitoba for over 80 different countries, and they make these specials starting back in 2004 with the glorious poppy, and since they've made other colored coins too for other countries. So they had one for FIFA, they had one for the CN Tower. A really great way to stop by, learn a little bit about our country, learn about the manufacturing behind it and some of the technologies. That's what we get to do today. So if I'm buying a coffee today, I'm not going to be using this coin because it's just so cool and so pretty.
Absolutely. And it's brand new. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's how's it feeling out there starting off this Tuesday?
You know, it's really nice out here, Rochelle. It's a bit of a milder start to the day. Slight breeze out here. But yes, definitely actually warmer than what we even saw yesterday. So 17 degrees, pretty cloudy. Winds out of the west-southwest at 11 kilometers per hour. Pressure falling, humidity at 88%. I actually wanted to draw our attention to our rain gauge here. This was dumped yesterday morning before the rain starts, so it looks like we got about 11 millimeters here in downtown Winnipeg yesterday from that rainfall. There were kind of two bouts of it to start off the day, and to end it, we had a little bit of thunderstorm activity at around 10 o'clock. Very similar conditions expected today. So southern Manitoba, particularly in and around Dauphin Swan River, you're likely to get rain and thunderstorms throughout the day. That extends all the way far north to the Paw. While we here in the Red River Valley also has a 60% chance of showers and a thunderstorm risk off and on throughout the day. It seems to kind of inhabit us all through the later morning into the early afternoon. Temperatures a little bit cooler than yesterday all throughout southern Manitoba, peaking in the low 20s. For us here in Winnipeg, that's 22 degrees. Then overnight, that chance of showers and thunderstorms rears its head again, temperatures dipping down to the mid-teens. But tomorrow we finally can put that umbrella away for a little bit and enjoy some sunshine and some warmer temperatures.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
The federal housing advocate says First Nations are stuck in a spiraling cycle during wildfire season, and she's pointing the finger at a lack of coordinated emergency management and a severe housing gap. While looking at 2025, which was the second worst wildfire season on record, the report says First Nations were given little or no warning of the changing conditions, and some were outright ignored by provincial governments. The advocate pointed to Manitoba, saying the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and MKO called for support for communities that had declared a state of emergency, but the province didn't respond for 10 days. On top of that, the report found vast differences in how people were being helped. Some municipalities and Indigenous organizations worked together to support evacuees. Others were wholly unprepared for the number of evacuees and their needs, and some were unwilling to receive evacuees altogether.
When we see communities being evacuated, the questions are, where are families going? Are families staying connected? How are children still accessing education?
The report makes 10 recommendations, including a national emergency management strategy, First Nations-led fire safety and monitoring, and improvements to infrastructure on reserves. The escalating trade war has fired up a war of words between Ontario Premier Doug Ford and U.S. President Donald Trump.
This guy's a loser. He's going to be a loser, and simple as that. We're going to fight with everything we have.
Ford and Trump spent much of yesterday trading insults. It started when Premier Ford reacted to U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to increase tariffs on cars and trucks next year. Speaking on News Talk 1010 in Toronto, Ford had this to say about the U.S. president.
Well, he can kiss my ass as far as I'm concerned. We're going to go at him full steam.
Trump responded later in the day on social media saying Ford is, quote, better known as the less charismatic, intelligent, and overall unimpressive brother of the late, great Rob Ford. Premier Ford then called Trump a loser, suggesting using Canada's critical minerals as a bargaining chip and cutting off or taxing energy exports.
We have not, called names on the president at podiums to be able to get, cheers and laughter.
Alberta Premier Danielle Smith and Ontario Premier Doug Ford spoke on the phone last night about energy and the trade war. But Premier Smith said using it as leverage is just not a viable option and something she will not consider. Premier Smith said it would be extremely harmful to Canada's economy. She recognizes the tariffs will impact Ontario more than Alberta, but says the focus for Canada should be breaking down interprovincial trade barriers and supporting businesses and workers affected. This trade war isn't just about the macroeconomic picture. It's also going to have an impact on individual Canadians and is, for example, changing the business of selling Canadian art for artists and galleries that depend on American buyers. Here's CTV's John Venivalle-Rao on the fear artists face of losing customers they may never get back.
These 12 by 12 squares are what I'm known for.
Laurette Lusagic showed us the kind of artwork she creates and has sold to customers in 40 countries. But one nation in particular makes up the single biggest share of her sales, the U.S.
It's about a third of my income, or maybe even half, depending on the year.
The Toronto-based artist says American clients are her bread and butter and was stunned to hear her works would be tariffed at 50%. Driven home just this morning after she packed up a small $450 piece, sold this past weekend to an American. And when she went online to ship it, the charge, including the new tariff, was over $260, way up from the $30 to $50 it used to cost for shipping only.
Oh, I immediately burst into tears because it was real.
Lusagic says, like many artists, she makes a very modest living and worries she'll lose many of her U.S. customers who won't want to pay such a huge tariff. A cancer survivor, she's been through adversity before, hoping to maybe make up some lost sales by finding more domestic buyers, but it may be tough.
I can only encourage Canadians to buy local art.
Among the Canadian artwork being tariffed, paintings and drawings, collages, sculptures, original prints, and works incorporating materials like bone and antler, which could hit Indigenous artists particularly hard. June Hunter is a Vancouver-based photographer and artist who specializes in images of ravens and crows. She sells about 50 pieces a month to Americans, but has now suspended most of her sales to the U.S. until, as she puts it, the dust settles on this latest flare-up, which is threatening half her business.
I'm obviously not alone. We're all in this together. I feel lucky, and at least I'm not having to lay anybody off. It's just me having to pivot on my own.
Meanwhile, the artists say they'll continue to make art, but making a living from it just got a lot harder. John Venivalle-Rao, CTV News, Toronto.
The world's most prestigious tango tournament is underway in Argentina. The qualifiers kicked off this weekend in Buenos Aires. It is the largest tournament of its kind in the world, featuring hundreds of couples from countries all over the world, including Canada. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush on Kenniston. The northbound shoulder lane will be closed from Lindenwood to Rothwell Road. On Grosvenor Avenue, the eastbound middle and curb lanes, also the westbound curb lane, will be closed from Stafford to Cambridge Street. And on Stradbrook Avenue, only one eastbound lane will be open from Wellington to Osborne. If you have any other traffic tips, send us a text, please.
Let's take a look right now through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Bit of a cloudy start to our day out there, but a pretty warm one at that. Temperatures already kicking off at about 17 degrees over here in Winnipeg. Same for Forters-La Prairie. Warmer in Morden-Winkler at 18 degrees. Up in Dauphin, 17 degrees this hour. And as I move out of frame, you can see similar temperatures unfolding across northwestern Ontario, 17 in Kenora. Similar values also currently in northern Manitoba, all along the Paw and Flin Flon, 18 and 17 degrees respectively. Thompson kicking off your Tuesday at 9 degrees. Churchill currently sitting at 12. So once again, we're keeping an eye on this low pressure system that's really hovering in and around southwestern parts of the province, more notably in and around the Parkland, Dauphin, Swan River. Good chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout your morning. And then we too here in Winnipeg also join the fun later on today. 17 degrees as we begin the day with those winds out of the west at that hour, but then they shift and can ramp up in a pretty large way out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Into that early afternoon, we also have a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms, and it extends into the early evening. Meanwhile, temperature is a little bit cooler than what we saw yesterday. 22 degrees are high, 23 is what's typical for this time of year. Overnight, we're likely to see some more rain and maybe some thunderstorms as well. 14 degrees are overnight low. From there, though, we start to clear out. 24 degrees, no chance of rain or thunderstorms into tomorrow. Thursday, we get even clearer skies. Friday, heating up, looks to be very hot at 26 degrees, but by Saturday, the clouds roll in, and by the end of the work week, we have a low chance of showers onto Sunday. Those will likely ramp up overnight, and then Monday looks to be a very rainy day as temperatures take a bit of a dip at 22 degrees. Your Skywatch picture of the day, this little guy is enjoying a little bit of sunbathing over in Brereton Lake in the Whiteshell. Thanks to Kathleen's for grabbing his picture, and if you've got any to share, starring a turtle or otherwise, please do send them our way. Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break. So much more of your morning Winnipeg on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
Good morning. In Alberta, some are calling for the government to better protect people with gambling addictions. While there are some safeguards already in place, critics say more are needed. CTV's Evan Kenny has more.
Gambling commercials like this one trigger Leif Gregerson. For years, he's been recovering from a gambling addiction.
People view it differently as other vices, really. And I do consider gambling to be a vice.
He wants to see Alberta's government do more to protect vulnerable people like him.
They have detox centers where people can go and get off drugs and alcohol, and it would be really good if there was something that was more available where people could do this type of gambling detox.
Alberta currently has a self-exclusion program. People voluntarily sign up and ban themselves from in-person and online gambling.
It aligned with the minister's request to ensure that there was one click of a button for Albertans to self-exclude from gaming in the province, and we certainly have provided that.
After hitting the sign up button on the self-exclusion website, it asks what you want to be excluded from and for how long. Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis says 600 people have registered for the program since iGaming legislation came into effect in July.
It's a good start, but let's not miss, the real issue here. The real issue is that they're making iGambling a lot easier.
This University of Alberta professor and emergency doctor says more safeguards need to be put in place. He wants to see the province spend more money helping people.
They say they're setting aside 1%. That's going to make no difference. It's got to be a number that is in relationship to the problem that it's actually causing. So 10% would be a good number.
I think the government needs to take more responsibility because, they've legalized more and more gambling, and they're always taking their cut, but they're not paying back into the damage it causes.
The self-exclusion program can last up to 3 years. AGLC says it would consider a lifetime self-exclusion in the future. Some professional supports are also available through the program. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
A clothing manufacturer in Japan is adding a whole new meaning to the phrase, the dog days of summer.
Very dangerous even for us humans, and for dogs who cannot sweat like us, it's even worse.
The company called Sweet Mommy has launched a puffy cooling jacket to help pet owners protect their furry friends from heat stroke during the most sweltering days of the year. The jacket was inspired by the air-conditioned vest worn by Japanese construction workers. Inside the suit are 2 battery-powered fans and an ice pack. The outfit has become a hit since its launch in 2022. The newest version sells for about $100. All right, here's a look outside now on the Pavache Bridge. Things are moving well. Starting off, we're going to take a break now. We'll be right back after this.
Casting our eye to the sky, bit of an overcast start to the day on this Tuesday. 17 degrees, winds out of the west, still pretty light. West-southwest, I should say, at 11 kilometers per hour. Pressure is falling, humidity sitting at 88%. It's actually going to be a pretty blustery day today, alongside another low pressure system, bringing another chance of rain and thunderstorms through most of the Red River Valley, Winnipeg included. You can see the glimmers of it really hovering in and around Parkland, extending all the way up to the Paw and Flin-Flon, excuse me, folks. Yes, this area, 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms in these morning hours extending into the afternoon. Well, we too are likely to get a taste of that action as well. 22 degrees our high, slightly cooler than is seasonal, much cooler than what we saw yesterday. I mentioned those strong winds out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. And then, yes, a very strong chance of rain and then maybe some thunderstorms, some instability wrapped into that system. We have that risk starting later on this morning and really taking up most of the afternoon. Could be a couple pockets of sunshine here or there. Overnight tonight, still that chance, a strong one, of rain and thunderstorms persisting. 16 degrees, so we're staying relatively warm, and those winds staying very strong indeed out of the northwest at 30, gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. From there, tomorrow we're starting to clear out nicely, mainly sunny skies with an above seasonal high of 24 degrees. Winds losing a little bit of that heft at 90 out of the northwest at 30 kilometers per hour. My brain running. Okay, and then into Thursday, that's when we really start to see skies clear out nicely. Temperatures rising to 24 degrees. Friday looks to be a very hot day indeed at 26. By Saturday, we are clouding over, hanging on to a good amount of heat. And by Sunday, low chance of showers. That does pick up overnight, and Monday looks to be a rainy one with a high of 22.
One person has died following a house fire at a home in Winnipeg's Rockwood neighborhood. The city says crews were sent to a bungalow in the 1000 block of Fleet Avenue shortly after 10 Monday morning. That's just a few blocks north of Grand Park Shopping Center. Firefighters launched an interior attack and had it under control within 20 minutes. However, one person was pulled from the home and declared dead at the scene. The fire is believed to be accidental, but the investigation is ongoing. No further details on the person's identity were shared. A strike deadline has been issued for hundreds of Dynacare workers. The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says job action will begin at 6 a.m. September 8th if an agreement can't be reached. The strike would impact 350 workers at Dynacare's 22 laboratory and health centers in the province, including Winnipeg and Brandon. The news comes days after members voted 99.7% in favor of a strike mandate. The union says workers want better compensation. It says since 2017, wages have fallen 20 to 50% behind public hospital laboratories. Both parties previously agreed under provincial essential services legislation. It's not necessary to continue Dynacare's laboratory services in the event of a strike. This means all Dynacares, including the main processing lab in Winnipeg, would be shut down during a strike. CTV News has reached out to Dynacare for comment. The federal government has plans to build 6 new icebreakers for the Canadian Coast Guard.
We'll move fast. The first steel, Canadian steel. The first steel will be cut next fall. The first ship will be delivered 5 years later.
Prime Minister Carney called it the largest shipbuilding contract in the province's history, with the government investing $11 billion into Quebec's shipbuilding industry. The new vessels fall under the federal government's Buy Canadian procurement policy and will be built with Canadian steel. More than 1,500 suppliers from across Canada are expected to be involved in the shipbuilding. The contract will support 5,000 jobs during construction. Monday wasn't just another day to hit the links at Morton's Minnewaska Golf and Country Club. A long period of rebuilding has finally wrapped up. But the grass wasn't always so green. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, its clubhouse burnt down twice.
At Minnewaska Golf and Country Club, golfers on the driving range work on their swing before the end of summer. But this hasn't been an ordinary season in Morton.
It's been a journey over the last couple of years, and yeah, to be able to sit here, it is surreal. It's a good word for it.
Greg Heesum remembers a cold day in January 2025, the clubhouse in ruins after a second devastating fire, just after they reopened from a previous fire in November 2021. Heesum recalls sifting through the rubble in -30.
Probably how unreal that felt. I actually thought someone was playing a joke on me when they made the call to say that there was another fire.
The cause was found to be electrical, but membership in the community got together to rebuild yet again. Now, a state-of-the-art clubhouse looks over the 9th green with a patio and year-round restaurant. Operations are once again par for the course.
Started building last June and just finished up here in July and got back into the space midsummer. So yeah, unfortunately we got really well practiced at running out of a tent and a snack shack.
We're a strong community. We gathered, we came together. The community was supportive of the rebuild, and look where we are today.
Morton Mayor Nancy Penner says starting over shows how resilient the club really is. So what do golfers think of the new space? We caught up with Ryan Weeb and his friends on the 15th tee and after the round on the 18th green.
I'm not going to miss that tent. We spend a lot of time in that tent, especially after league nights, and it's just great to have this, and we're able to come, sit on the patio, sit inside.
We got this one up and running. It's been the best thing ever for the town.
What do they say? Third time's a charm. So like I'd say it's beautiful. Our course is beautiful, but it's nice to have a clubhouse that matches.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Morden.
A St. Vital school is starting the new year off with a big announcement.
This is so exciting, way better than those fancy boxes of crayons that you wanted your mom to buy.
La Vallée School students are getting a new accessible play structure. It's one of 43 playground projects being supported by the province's Healthy Kids, Healthy Communities Play Structure Fund. The province is handing over $100,000, while St. Vital City Councillor Brian Mays and Louis Riel School Division are kicking in $50,000 each.
The easy thing to do would have just been say, I'll let the parents keep doing this. We're not saying that. We're saying it's a new arrangement here, a new day in Manitoba for these school play structures.
The existing structure will be dismantled in October. La Vallée's principal expects the new one is to be ready for play at the end of that month. The provincial government introduced the $3 million Healthy Kids, Healthy Communities Play Structure Fund in this year's budget to ease the financial pressure on school divisions and parent advisory councils. All right, it looks like a pretty good start to your drive so far here on the Norwood Bridge. As you can see, no real delays to tell you about at this point in the drive. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.66. It's a small drop compared to yesterday. And the lowest price in the city is $1.48. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Coming up, Ainsley is live at the Mint this morning. We're going to find out about the production plant here in Winnipeg and its history. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
I gotta say, Mother Nature's putting on quite the show this morning, and from my vantage point, it's just stunning. A gorgeous orange sunset currently unfolding across downtown Winnipeg at 17 degrees, decently overcast, winds out of the west-southwest at 11 kilometers per hour, pressure falling, humidity at 88%. So yes, another day, another low pressure system to tell you about. This one bringing a good chance of rain and thunderstorms through areas in and around the parkland, including Dauphin, Swan River, and extending further to the north in and around the Paw, Flin Flon, Norway House. Good chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the morning and afternoon. Temperatures there will be in the mid to upper 20s, while us here in Winnipeg also have a good chance of rain and maybe some thunderstorms a little later on this morning, more likely early afternoon. With it, a high of 22. For us in Winnipeg, that's slightly below seasonal. Much of the Red River Valley also shares in our chance of rain and thunderstorms, while in and around Brandon, Neepawa, lower chance, but a chance nonetheless, more likely for you, a mix of sun and cloud. Overnight tonight, rain likely to continue, ramp up even with some thunderstorms. Temperatures dipping down to 14 in Winnipeg, and then tomorrow, lots of sunshine and a return to form with seasonal temperatures. Okay, we're going to check in with our own Ainsley McPhail, who is spending the morning at the Winnipeg Royal Canadian Mint.
Good morning. This is one of the coolest places in the province, and we're lucky enough to come on down for one of the biggest milestones. Alex Reeves joining us. A pretty big milestone. Tell us all about it.
Yes, hi Ainsley. Winnipeg is celebrating its 50th anniversary. This is a purpose-built circulation coin manufacturing facility that opened in 1976 and produces all of Canada's circulation coins as well as coins for customers around the world. And
preserving that history, talking about that history, tell us about this building and how it's all come to be.
Yeah, the building is very unique. It sort of rises like a big glass mountain out of the prairie horizon. It was designed by Etienne Gaboury, who's known as Manitoba's greatest architect. And he had, what he had in mind was both a manufacturing plant and a public space. So we have you know, there's plenty of room for all the manufacturing that goes on, and there's a lot. And there's also great space for taking guided tours and seeing the operations. There's a boutique on the ground floor, a big open atrium as well, and this is all public space as well. And it's a great facility and a real kind of jewel in the crown, if you will, in the Winnipeg skyline.
Tell us about the coin. We can't have the segment without that.
No. Well, actually, we're a bunch of us have come from Ottawa to launch a new circulation coin, a commemorative circulation coin that's recognizing the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Legion, and they're holding their Dominion conference at the RBC Centre, and it was great to be able to unveil the coin, reveal the design before 1,000 delegates that are gathered there from around the country. So it was a great event, and this coin is just entering circulation today, and people can start looking for it in their change.
So neat. You know what? It's $2, but it's worth so much more. More coming up on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones increased 224 points. The Nasdaq is 258 points higher. The S&P index had small gains. The Canadian dollar is down, set to 72.17 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is flat, and the Nikkei added 328 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A 21-year-old man is dead after being shot at a home in Selkirk Sunday. It happened shortly after midnight on Dufferin Avenue. The victim was declared dead at the scene. Selkirk Mounties say other people were at the home at the time, including a 30-year-old man who was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Investigators weren't able to say what led to the shooting, only that the suspect and victim knew each other and neither lived at the home. We're told by Mounties several firearms were seized. RCMP say they're being tested to find out if they were used in this shooting. Prisoners who were put in solitary confinement while at Manitoba youth and adult jails can now file a claim as part of a class action lawsuit. As we previously reported, the Manitoba Court of King's Bench approved a $129 million settlement earlier this year. Eligible class members can file a claim until August 24th of next year to receive a cash settlement of up to $100,000. The class action argued the government's use of solitary confinement was negligent and breached inmates' charter rights. Solitary confinement was defined as segregation in a room or area without meaningful human contact for at least 22 hours a day. The provincial government agreed to resolve the class action through the settlement without a trial while denying liability. WestJet flight attendants have ratified a new collective agreement with the airline after a one-day strike earlier this month. 90.2% voted in favor of the three-year deal. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says it includes a more than 18% wage hike over 3 years, as well as new compensation for work done on the ground. The contract gives workers a 13% wage increase this October, followed by smaller hikes in January and at the start of 2028. Canada's Governor General will be in Gander, Newfoundland and Labrador on September 11th to commemorate the 25th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks. Louise Arbour will also meet with a variety of provincial officials and Indigenous leaders during a 5-day visit beginning September 8th. Dozens of flights were diverted to the Gander Airport on September 11, 2001, as terror attacks were unfolding across the U.S. About 7,000 stranded passengers were welcomed by local residents who helped provide food, shelter, and essentials. Russia's second largest online retailer says 4 of its logistics hubs were hit by Ukrainian drone attacks overnight. Social media footage shows the moment of an attack on one of the facilities located in the Russian region of Dagestan. Thick smoke could be seen rising into the air in the aftermath. The company, Ozon, says several people were injured. Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine began 4.5 years ago. Just released video shows some scary moments caught on camera in San Francisco. A train operator appears to be asleep at the controls before being jolted seconds later when he rear ends another train. The city's transit officials are citing fatigue as the cause. No one was injured in the incident from July 31st, and the operator has been suspended. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has cleared a blood test to help identify signs of Alzheimer's disease in people aged 55 and older with cognitive decline. The test is a biomarker blood test that can help doctors identify patients who are likely or unlikely to have Alzheimer's-related brain changes. The FDA clearance follows European approval for the test. Current testing methods can be expensive, invasive, and less widely available. This test isn't intended to be a standalone diagnostic test, but should be interpreted alongside other clinical information. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush on Kenaston, the northbound shoulder lane will be closed from Lindenwood to Rothwell Road. On Grosvenor Avenue, the eastbound middle and curb lanes, also the westbound curb lane, will be closed from Stafford to Cambridge Street. And on Stradbrook Avenue, only one eastbound lane will be open from Wellington to Osborne.
Casting our eye to the sky, it's looking gorgeous out there as that sun rises, but there's a good blanket of clouds already greeting us on this Tuesday morning. 17 degrees with those winds out of the west-southwest at 11 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure falling, humidity at 88%. Much like yesterday, we're kind of playing chicken with the low pressure system through much of southern Manitoba and even extending as far to the northwest as well. You can see these little smatterings here. We talked about it yesterday, this approaching shortwave. As it rolled into Manitoba, it drew in a lot of hot, unstable air, and with it bringing a good chance of some rain and thunderstorms that extends to today. The northeast has a chance, but a lower chance at that. A mix of sun and cloud and a 30% chance of some rain and maybe some thunderstorms. Temperatures here above seasonal in Thompson and Gillam at 25 degrees, a little bit cooler in Island Lake, but still warm. At 22 degrees, 18 over in Churchill. To the northwest, this area has a good chance, a very strong chance of rain this morning and into the afternoon. With it, that instability possible in the form of thunderstorms. Temperatures there also warm at around the 24-degree mark in Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Paw and Flin Flon, 21 in Lynn Lake. Southwestern Manitoba, Swan River and Dauphin, a good chance for you of that rainfall. Lesser so in Brennan and Neepo, about 30% chance. You'll more likely get a mix of sun and cloud. Highs just at seasonal at 22 degrees, 21 in Dauphin. For us in the Red River Valley, we start off more with a mix of sun and cloud, and then that chance of rain really develops near noon and continues into the afternoon. Thunderstorms are possible as well. Winds will be very strong out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. 22 degrees for Winnipeg, 24 for Morden and Winkler. Northwestern Ontario also looking to be a cloudier and rainy day for you. Temperatures there peaking in the low 20s. Those strong northwesterly winds persist overnight for us here in Winnipeg, as does that chance of rain and thunderstorms. Temperatures dipping down to 14 degrees. Tomorrow we start to clear up. Temperatures warm up as well at 24 with mostly cloudy skies. And then into Thursday and Friday, even sunnier, and in Friday's case, even hotter. Balmy high of 26 degrees. Saturday, cloudier with 25, and then by Sunday, we're getting the sunshine back with a low chance of showers that increases overnight, setting the stage for a pretty soggy start to next work week with a high of 22 degrees on Monday.
Thank you, Catherine. A construction site has turned into a safe haven for teddy bears, and they seem to be multiplying to create a new neighborhood. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
It's up there.
Instead of going down in the woods today,
Can I come to you and see it? Sure.
it's up in her apartment. You're sure of a big surprise.
Right there.
You can clearly see what's been providing Erin England with a daily dose of joy since she first noticed it.
Like a childhood giddy almost, just being like, oh my gosh, it's a giant bear.
It's also a mystery. Nobody seems to know who put it there or why. Although her building's caretaker, Dennis Jones, does know the bear's been displayed since before the ground floor was built.
As the building goes up, so does the bear.
But then, if you look up at one of the balconies on his building, you'll see a second bear's appeared after Samantha Allen felt sorry for that first one.
We need another bear to respond to the bear that's out there.
So, after finding a used bear online for free, Samantha propped it up on her balcony, which caught the attention of the construction crew.
So this is like this silent communication through the bears.
And then one day, Samantha noticed that first bear was holding a rose.
And I thought, it's a romance.
So Samantha reciprocated by attaching a bouquet of paper flowers on her bear.
I think they're both holding flowers.
This is Peter.
Just kind of cool, eh?
Who, along with showing pictures of the unbearably cute couple, agrees to find out who was responsible for the first bear, who turns out to be ironworker Jordan Turnbull.
You know, I'm a family man.
And because he has 3 kids and knows how meaningful one bear can be, when the stuffy appeared on the site one day, Jordan saved it.
And then we pulled it out, I took it home and cleaned it, brought it back to work.
While he originally displayed the bear prominently in the hopes of reuniting it with its owner, Jordan is now simply constructing something cute.
It's just something to make everyone smile.
It's the same for Samantha, which is why she's so pleased to see that since she put up her bear, 3 more have appeared on buildings surrounding the construction site.
My goal would be to put bears on as many balconies as I can and turn this into the neighborhood.
And every bear that ever there was will gather there for certain, because every day here will feel like a teddy bear's picnic. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
Pretty sweet. Well, a cat named Erebus has broken a world record. ABC's Danny New has the story.
This is Erebus, and he's now sitting with a Guinness World Record in tow.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 on this one.
With 8 toes on one paw and 7 on all the others, this Maine Coon has 29 toes, breaking the 28-toe record that has stood since 2002. And he's being quite humble about the whole thing.
Very relaxing to be a world record holder.
Right.
He's like, it's just another day for him.
A little Polly baby girl.
His parents, Kendra and Hunter, own a breeding cattery in Wisconsin called Blue Northern Maine Coons.
Good boy, too.
But his biological parents, specifically Dad, can help explain the historic appendages. His father, Senzano, has 6 toes on each paw, coming to a total of 24. The normal amount for a cat is 18.
Dad is from Russia, and Mom is from here in the U.S. He's doing really good. He's eating, drinking.
But what really sets Erebus apart is the fight he put up earlier this year after suffering from pneumonia and an aspiration event only a few months after he was born in March. For the record, Kendra says this was unrelated to the toes.
Hey, baby. Erebus.
But Erebus even had to spend time in an oxygen machine, and Kendra says the vets told her his outlook did not look good.
Would you call that a miraculous recovery?
I would say that's definitely a miraculous recovery, because his lungs they're supposed to be black. They were completely white.
But just a few months later, they say his lungs look completely normal now. So does that mean Erebus will soon be heading to a new home?
He's staying with us.
Erebus is named after the Greek god of darkness because of his shadowy colored fur, but obviously the comparisons stop there. No way someone who napped in the sunshine for our entire 30-minute interview could be the god of darkness. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
It's Tuesday, August 25th. Today, trade war. Manitoba businesses brace for new U.S. tariffs and possible Canadian countermeasures. Plus, wildfire warning, how a new report says First Nations face serious gaps in wildfire response, housing, and emergency support. And celebrating 100 years, how Winnipeg's century-old veterans organization is marking a major milestone with new projects across Manitoba. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Hello, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday to you. It is 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now, as this trade war escalates, we have a lot of businesses that are worried about what their future looks like, including some honey farms here in Manitoba. One honey farm is 90% of their business comes from the U.S., so they've sort of had to pivot. So we're going to talk to them a little later at about 7:52 to find out how they are pivoting and what sort of response they're seeing from the rest of the country in support of them. So we're going to have those details. But when you look outside today, the bees will be buzzing.
Yeah, they'll be loving maybe what we've got. We've got plenty of sunshine on the way, but we also maybe have some rain. It's kind of been a similar forecast to what we saw yesterday, but you can see a good amount of sunshine under that blanket of clouds. A nice orange sunset. I was really much enjoying that from the rooftop. Winds still pretty light out of the west-southwest at 11 clicks. Pressure is falling. Humidity sitting at 88%. Pockets of sunshine here or there to enjoy, but we are still being confronted with this low pressure system. You can see the bulk of it is really hovering in and around Dauphin, Swan River, maybe even far up to the Paw. Rain, thunderstorms likely for you, but for us in Winnipeg and the surrounding Red River Valley, we're also likely to need the umbrellas. So as we turn our attention here to the futurecast, you can see this the contours of this system a little bit clearer. So you can see it does extend fairly far into the south. Brandon and Nipawin does have a small chance of rain, but as the day progresses, it clips pretty quickly out of Westman and moves more into Red River Valley in our neck of the woods. So likely rain and thunderstorms into the late morning or early afternoon. Maybe in fits and starts, so nothing terribly organized or severe, and some pockets of sunshine here or there. It swirls out, it looks to, but then overnight you start to see a couple of flare-ups here or there, so still a chance of rain and thunderstorms, while the northeast, I should mention, has a low chance of some rain and thunderstorms today, but likely to stay dry. Then tomorrow we really do start to see things clear out nicely for us here in southern Manitoba. Lots of sunshine on the way and temperatures starting to warm back up again. That's because today it's going to take a touch of a dip, 22 degrees when 23 is what's typical, so not terrible. And then to tomorrow we start to see that upward trajectory as the sunshine rejoins us. Your weather art of the day, Maya, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Looks like she's drawn a twister here. Really cool artwork. Thank you so much for submitting it. And if you'd like to submit your child's artwork or picture, you've just got to visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle at the Kenaston and Regent locations.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
Manitoba businesses find themselves caught in the middle. An escalating trade war between Canada and the United States is putting pressure on folks here at home. Talks broke down late last week after the Prime Minister said unfair demands were made by the American delegation. Now impacted industries are dealing with new 50% U.S. tariffs, plus incoming counter tariffs from Canada. CTV's Jeff Keel explains what this means for Manitobans.
A lot of Phil Veldos's honey is exported south. But because of the newly escalated trade war with the U.S., he says that door is shut.
A lot of Canadian honey will not cross the border. 50% tariff basically is like an embargo.
After the Canadian delegation pulled out of trade talks Friday, President Donald Trump moved forward with 50% tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Canadian goods, including honey. Veldos sells 90% of his honey to a cooperative, which in turn sells to markets, including the U.S.
I get paid from my cooperative based on their success in selling. So in a situation where they can't sell the honey, I don't get paid.
Over the weekend, the Prime Minister said last-minute demands from the American delegation were unacceptable. Now Carney is promising counter tariffs next month.
The government of Manitoba is 100% behind the Prime Minister's direction to retaliate against Donald Trump's unjustified and immoral tariffs.
All of this means Manitoba businesses are on the hook.
It is going to have an impact. There's no question about that, because there's a lot of businesses that simply can't make that pivot to simply say, okay, we're not going to do business with the U.S.
This airless tire manufacturer in Winnipeg is worried about Canadian counter tariffs hitting materials they have to import.
How do you continually grow and then all of a sudden now you have bigger bills, right? So especially when you look at those bills being tariffs, it's not like it's a small bill anymore. It's a pretty big bill. So I don't know what we would have to do, whether we'd have to, I don't know.
Owner Derek Hurd says he wants Canadian leaders to stop with the rhetoric and get back to the bargaining table.
This is elementary school stuff. And here we are, we have the leaders of the whole country just flinging off accusations and saying whatever they want. Well, I mean, come on, how's this going to work?
The province and federal government have both promised supports for impacted industries.
We're also listening to our business community and the workers are right across our province.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
On Monday, CTV News hit the street to find out how Winnipeggers are feeling about the collapse of those trade talks.
I think just, shut the door, lock them out, deal with it as it comes. Carney's doing the right thing, talking to everybody in Europe, talking to everybody in South America. I mean, there's lots of countries in this world. We do not have to be married to the United States.
I think it is relatively important, but we should also continue to options elsewhere in the world for our trade.
Most of the population is within 90 miles of the U.S. border. We're a big, big island, and the rest of our products go around the world, and it needs to go the shortest distance. And it's just one person and a couple of people that are around him that don't realize the importance of their neighbor.
The province has put together a trade council made up of business and labor leaders with the aim, it says, of protecting jobs and supporting exporters. On Saturday, the Premier said the province will have supports for business, which could include things such as tax deferrals and shifting contracts to Canadian firms. Canada is expected to announce retaliatory tariffs against America this morning. 4 ministers, including Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne, will announce Canada's response, along with measures that include expanding employment insurance to help workers affected by the latest round of American tariffs. Prime Minister Mark Carney had previously mentioned that dollar-for-dollar retaliatory measures would be in place after Labor Day. The Royal Canadian Legion was created by veterans organizations a century ago right here in Winnipeg, and Ottawa is chipping in to help celebrate its centennial. Canada's Veterans Affairs Minister announced $300,000 from its commemorative partnership program for 75 projects marking the milestone. The projects recognize the contributions of veterans, their families, and communities, and deepen the understanding of the country's military history and the sacrifices made. They include exhibits, commemorative events, performances, and more.
Funded at the Legion, so anytime the Legion can receive a grant to do something special, well, that means a lot to us.
The Manitoba projects include a Belgian Independence Day parade, banners in Minnedosa and Gimli, and a Manitoba Métis Federation Royal Canadian Legion Centennial celebration. And now it's time to tango. Couples from around the world gathered in Spain to hit the dance floor, competing for a spot in the Buenos Aires World Tango Tournament Finals. The Buenos Aires government calls the 2-week festival the world's largest tango gathering. This is the 24th edition of the tournament. The finals will be held on September the 1st and the 2nd. Here's a look now at what's happening on the drive on the St. James Bridge. Things appear to be moving quite well in this part of the city. If you encounter any problems out on the streets, please send us a text to let us know.
The Bank of Nova Scotia reporting a third quarter profit of $2.95 billion, up from $2.53 billion a year ago. Revenue for the quarter totaled $10.54 billion in its third quarter, up from $9.49 in the same quarter last year. Now, Scotiabank's provision for credit losses for the quarter amounted to $1.08 billion, up from $1.04 billion a year ago. Also reporting today, BMO had posted a third quarter profit of $1.75 billion, down from $2.33 billion a year earlier, as it took a charge related to the sale of its transportation and vendor finance businesses. Revenue for the quarter totaled $9.9 billion, up from $8.99 a year earlier. And BMO's provision for credit losses amounted to $722 million, down from $797 million a year ago. The trade war between the U.S. and Canada erupted into an extraordinary exchange of insults and threats between President Donald Trump and Doug Ford, leader of Ontario. In a radio interview, the Premier's response to Trump's post on the deal: "He can kiss my you-know-what as far as I'm concerned." Trump then posted on Truth Social calling Ford the less charismatic, intelligent, and overall unimpressive brother of the late, great Rob Ford. Rob was mayor of Toronto. And U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer criticizing President Donald Trump's trade actions against Canada, warning that the tariffs could increase costs for American families and manufacturers, and urged Republicans to challenge the policy. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
All right, let's go now to Ainsley, who's hanging out at the Royal Canadian Mint this morning right here in Winnipeg. It's a cool building, lots of history here. Good morning.
This feels so exclusive, Rochelle, to be able to be behind the scenes with production, development, and when you're looking at your coins, it's a blank slate. That's where it starts here in Manitoba. So the toonie, for example, 30 years old, and 80 different plus countries get their coins from here in Manitoba. That's where they're produced. So we're talking about some of the tours that are going on, that 50 years of the building itself as well. This commemorative coin celebrating 100 years. Sorry, I just wanted to be able to actually see it. And so much more. So they've got glow-in-the-dark coins. They've got, specialty ones. And then you can come to the gift shop and purchase something for yourself.
Okay, sounds great. Can't wait to see more. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. Looks like there's a little bit of a breeze out there, Catherine.
It's definitely starting to ramp up, Rochelle, because, yes, it's going to be a pretty blustery day throughout Winnipeg and the surrounding Red River Valley. You can see we're at 17 degrees. Skies are starting to clear out nicely. Winds are in the west-southwest at 15 kilometers kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 87%. So we are tracking a system pushing in through the west, likely to bring rain and thunderstorms through many parts of the province. I'll start with the areas with the highest chance. Into the northwest, the Paw, Flin Flon, Norway House, about a 60% chance, mix of sun and cloud before that, and then that approaches into the later morning and early afternoon. Meanwhile, that extends further into the south, in and around Dauphin, Swan River, strong chance for you. Brandon and Dauphin, smaller chance, but a chance nonetheless, and us here in Winnipeg, also a good chance of rain and thunderstorms. Temperatures taking a dip since yesterday. 22 will be our high in Winnipeg when 26 was our high yesterday. We mentioned the winds are going to be getting quite strong. They're going to shift out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. The rain and thunderstorms possible for us into the late afternoon, apologies, late morning, early afternoon. There we go. While we'll take a bit of a breather this evening, they're likely to come back, those raindrops overnight, before clearing off tomorrow with temperatures rebounding.
Thank you, Catherine. It's time now for a question of the day. Today marks the start of the Be Kind to Humankind Week. So we want to know, what was your last act of kindness? You can text your answer to 10400 and make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more, whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals. Send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. All right, we're going to take a quick break here. We'll be right back after this. Good morning, it is 7:16. The federal housing advocate says First Nations are stuck in a spiraling cycle during wildfire season, and she's pointing the finger at a lack of coordinated emergency management and a severe housing gap. While looking at 2025, which was the second worst wildfire season on record, the report says First Nations were given little or no warning of the changing conditions, and some were outright ignored by provincial governments. The advocate pointed to Manitoba, saying the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and MKO called for support for communities that had declared a state of emergency, but the province didn't respond for 10 days. On top of that, the report found vast differences in how people were being helped. Some municipalities and Indigenous organizations worked together to support evacuees. Others were wholly unprepared for the number of evacuees and their needs, and some were unwilling to receive evacuees altogether.
When we see communities being evacuated, the questions are, where are families going? Are families staying connected? How are children still accessing education?
The report makes 10 recommendations, including a national emergency management strategy, First Nations-led fire safety and monitoring, and improvements to infrastructure on reserves. The escalating trade war with the United States has many industries, including Canadian steel, feeling concerned. The United Steelworkers Union in Canada says it's predicting a protracted trade war in the wake of the rising trade tensions.
When we started this, there was 25% tariffs on steel, aluminum, and some other products, and then it went up from there. We, as Canada, bargained in good faith and did a number of things to try to appease the Americans, but that's obviously not going to work. We're in for, I think, a protracted trade war.
With the tariffs now in place on Canadian sectors, experts have warned that Canadian businesses absorbing the costs of the tariffs might end up passing the expenses on to consumers. Trump threatened Monday to hike tariffs on Canadian autos to 50% in January of 2027. Here's a look at what's happening right now on Portage Avenue. Things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, as you can see here, but overall things appear to be moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
An exciting new event hitting Brandon next month. It's called the Wheat City Fall Festival. The family-friendly event is being held at the Keystone Center grounds and will celebrate all things local. It will feature a midway, vendors, live entertainment, food trucks, and it also coincides with the Brandon Wheat Kings home opener. Players will be heading up rides at the festival and participating in a fan zone. There's a $5 entry fee, and those 2 and under are free. Wristbands for rides cost extra. The festivities kick off on September 18th at 5 p.m. and run through the 20th. K-pop fans have a new album from the band NCT 127 to listen to this week.
Blingy, blingy, bling.
The album Blingy has 9 tracks and marks the band's 10th anniversary. And CT 127 performed the track Pinata at America's Got Talent earlier this month. Since their debut in 2016, the band has undergone a number of lineup changes. At this time, 2 of the members are serving mandatory military duty. A piano used by Freddie Mercury is headed to auction. 82 lots from the collection of German producer Reinhold Mack, who worked with Queen on several albums in the 1980s, is hitting the auction block this fall. It includes this Yamaha C3 grand piano used to compose Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Other items include a microphone used by Mercury and handwritten lyrics from his debut solo album. The auction is scheduled to begin on October the 1st. One of the most recognizable performers in contemporary Ukrainian music is coming to Winnipeg. Dzeo is bringing his humorous blend of pop and folk music to the Burton Cummings Theatre. It's happening on November 18th. He'll be joined by Ukrainian-born violinist Vasyl Popaduk. Tickets go on sale Wednesday through Ticketmaster. Your primetime lineup today starts with Jeopardy Masters at 7. The Amazing Race Canada comes next at 8. At 9, catch Password. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Went for my walk last night, Catherine. I could see patches of leaves changing colors already. There was a little bit of yellow there, a little bit of red over there. It's starting to happen.
I know, Rochelle. You can start to feel that faint change, but yesterday was such a gorgeous, balmy day that I just want to say to folks who are kind of reading the obituary of this summer that we still have some gorgeous weather still to come. So get out and enjoy. Those subtle changes are afoot, but it's just a gorgeous back end to this August so far. Let's take a look right now, speaking of gorgeous, through the Bath Fitter Live Eye, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Decent amount of cloud coverage, but that sunshine really starting to peak out. Temperatures starting off on a fairly warm note. 17 degrees over in Morden and Winkler. Same for us in Winnipeg, Portage-la Prairie, Gimli, Pinawa, Sprague, Kenora, all over the place. Over in Dauphin, 16 degrees this hour. Up in the north, temperatures very similar to what we're seeing here. Still a little bit cooler in Thompson and Gillam at 11 degrees, just 12 in Churchill. Over in the Paw, 18 degrees this hour. So we're kind of keeping an eye on this low pressure system. It really seems to be hovering in and around Dauphin and Swan River, bringing a good chance of rain and thunderstorms this morning to that neck of the woods. Different story for us here in Winnipeg. We are going to be looking at mostly clear sunny skies to kick us off, 17 degrees with those lighter westerly winds. And then from there, we start to see things shift around, if you will. We have that chance of rain and thunderstorms, about a 60% chance by Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimation. That's when it fires up into the afternoon. And then very strong northwesterly winds, speaking of firing up, gusting at 30 to 50 kilometers per hour at times. We are going to, this is also our high, I should say, 22 degrees, just a touch below what's seasonal. It'll feel like a marked difference from yesterday where we got to about 26. And we start to cool off by those early evenings. And then from there, we still have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms overnight. The northwesterly wind staying strong, temperatures dipping down to 14. And then tomorrow we clear out nicely, high of 24 degrees, warmer, mix of sun and cloud, more clear into the afternoon. Thursday, Friday look very cool and very warm, or sorry, very clear and very warm. That's a bit of an oxymoron, 24 and 26 degrees before some clouds roll in into the weekend. Let's get myself sorted here. Kathleen snapped this incredible weather photo. This guy sunbathing on a rock over in Brereton Lake in the Whiteshell. Thank you so much for submitting your weather photo. And if you've got any out there to share out there, we would love to see them. Be sure to email them to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
August 25th, 1943. Franklin D. Roosevelt became the first U.S. president to visit Ottawa. Roosevelt and Prime Ministers William Lyon Mackenzie King of Canada and Winston Churchill of Britain had earlier attended the Quebec Conference in Quebec City. August 25th, 1984. Tory leader Brian Mulroney slammed Liberal Prime Minister John Turner in a televised election debate. Mulroney charged Turner had a choice when presented with a list of patronage appointments from former Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau. The Conservatives went on to a landslide election victory. August 25th, 1986. Wheelchair athlete Rick Hansen began the cross-Canada portion of his round-the-world journey. Only $172,000 had been donated for spinal cord research when he reached Canada's most eastern point, Cape Spear, Newfoundland. But an outpouring of support from Canadians allowed him to reach his goal of $10 million by the time he returned home to Williams Lake, BC on April 2nd, 1987. PEI potato growers are facing a familiar fight in one of their bigger markets. The U.S. is tightening rules at the border. Here's CTV's Maria Saru on what's behind the change and what it means on the farm.
There's a bigger chance of a tire falling off an airplane and hitting me right now than us shipping potato wort to the United States.
Past potato wort restrictions have cost Alex Doherty hundreds of thousands of dollars and reshaped his business. He says the U.S. push for more is less about science and plant health and more about market competition and politics.
If they can knock us out or make it a little more tough for our buyers, I'm sure they'd like to do that.
Potato wort can survive in soil for decades, slashing yields, and while not harmful to humans, there's currently no treatment to control it. The disease has fueled years of cross-border friction, and after it was detected in a single PEI field this spring, U.S. industry groups called for a ban on fresh island spuds to be reinstated to avoid, quote, devastating economic consequences to domestic family farms. On Friday, the United States Department of Agriculture updated its import requirements instead, saying the new measures will reduce risk.
Fair, potentially, but this is going to add cost to the U.S. buyer.
The changes mainly affect U.S. facilities importing bulk PEI potatoes for packaging or processing. They'll need agreements with American regulators setting out how potato waste will be handled.
All potatoes from PEI for over the last 4 years have never left the island from a contaminated field. Full stop.
The Canadian Potato Council adds spuds that do leave the island are washed and graded to U.S. standards. The PEI Potato Board told CTV News it knew changes were coming, but the timing was unexpected, as were other specifics. With harvest approaching in fields like this, the Canadian Potato Council says talks are continuing and hopes some of the new requirements will be walked back before they take effect on October 5th. Maria Saru, CTV News, Kingston, Prince Edward Island.
Ainsley McPhail is live at the Mint this morning getting a tour, and this is something you can do as well. We're going to give you details on how you can do this with yourself and your family. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's been hanging out at the Royal Canadian Mint this morning. It's a great place to take a tour on your own with your family if you want to do so. And Ainsley, you're going to give us details on how to do just that. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, that's happening this weekend, celebrating 50 years of this immaculate building. When you look at someone like me, do you think manufacturing? I don't know. We got to get our steel-toe boots. Maybe that'll change things up. Omo, good morning. Thank you for being here with us. Let's talk about this commemorative coin so people can see it. It's officially launched.
Yes, we have launched the new coin, which is the Legion. Want to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Legion. And as we all know, the Mint is 50 years this year.
Wow. And when people come for a tour, you're giving them the lowdown on some of that history, the production, color coins. That is something very unique to Manitoba.
Yes, it is very unique. The Royal Canadian Mint is very, very proud to make one of the most beautiful coins in the world. And currently we just launched the Legion. And in 2017, we made this famous coin. It is the first Canadian circulation colored coins, and it's to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Canada. And it shows that the Northern Lights will glow in the dark with this coin.
So neat. And not just Canada. Over 80 countries are taking advantage of something that Canada and Manitoba is doing specifically.
Absolutely. We make coins for over 80 countries in the world. Currently, we're making coins for the Philippines. We're making coins for the UEA. So we make a lot of coins for international countries.
And when it comes to production, again, that behind the scenes that the average viewer might not even realize, what are some neat things that are going on here?
In this facility, we could make up to 15 million coins a day. That is 15 millions of circulation coins, either it's Canadian or international countries.
Wow. Before we're out of time, when should people come to check this out?
The Mint is celebrating their 50th anniversary, and that we have an open house for everybody to the public on the 29th of August. Come with your friends, come with your family. There's going to be an open house. It's a free tour. We are going to have cupcakes, and we're also going to be giving out some historical features. There will be historical displays. We'll talk about the building. We'll have the gold bar and the silver bar on display that day.
Maybe I'll put some gold sprinkles on those historical cupcakes.
All right, thank you, Ainsley. And today, it's Tuesday. What's the week looking like from this vantage point?
You know, we start to take a bit of a turn tomorrow into some more classically summer weather. But today, still on that stormy note, as we always have this kind of low chance of rain and thunderstorms, or we have since the beginning of the week. And today is no exception. 17 degrees. We've got a couple clouds out there, but the skies are really starting to clear out nicely. Winds out of the west-southwest at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 87%. So yes, this approaching shortwave, we told you about it yesterday. It rolled over from the west yesterday, and really the bulk of it is concentrating in and around the parkland, extending up through the Paw and Flin Flon. Haven't checked in the last few moments, but it looks like it's still dry there. You should be getting rain or thunderstorms at any point throughout the morning, extending into the afternoon. Meanwhile, we too in Winnipeg will start to see that system drift into our skies, bringing a 60% chance of rain and thunderstorms later on this morning, perhaps early afternoon. Highs a little bit cooler than what we saw yesterday, 22 degrees, 23 is seasonal, so we're pretty darn close. Winds very strong out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour, really ramping up into the early afternoon. They persist overnight as temperatures dip down to 16 degrees, and those that chance of rain and thunderstorms also persisting, but easing considerably just after midnight. From there, sunny and warm into Wednesday, 24 degrees, strong northwesterly winds, but not as hefty as we saw today. And then Thursday, Friday looking clear and sunny and warm, 24 and 26. Saturday we do cloud over substantially, but Sunday some more sunshine to enjoy.
The Winnipeg Police Service has renewed its appeal for information on the disappearance of a 41-year-old man whose case has now remained unsolved for 1 year. Paul Lacasse was last in contact with his family on Sunday, August 9th, 2025 in Winnipeg. Lacasse is described as 6'1" in height, with a heavy build, short wavy brown hair and brown eyes. The Winnipeg Police Service is concerned for his well-being and is asking anyone with any information regarding the whereabouts of Paul Lacasse to contact the Winnipeg Police Service Missing Persons Unit at 204-986-6250. A strike deadline has been issued for hundreds of Dynacare workers. The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says job action will begin at 6 a.m. September 8th if an agreement can't be reached. The strike would impact 350 workers at Dynacare's 22 laboratory and health centers in the province, including Winnipeg and Brandon. The news comes days after members voted 99.7% in favor of a strike mandate. The union says workers want better compensation. It says since 2017, wages have fallen 20 to 50% behind public hospital laboratories. Both parties previously agreed under provincial essential services legislation it's not necessary to continue Dynacare's laboratory services in the event of a strike. This means all Dynacares, including the main processing lab in Winnipeg, would be shut down during a strike. CTV News has reached out to Dynacare for comment. Prisoners who were put in solitary confinement while at Manitoba youth and adult jails can now file a claim as part of a class action lawsuit. As we previously reported, the Manitoba Court of King's Bench approved a $129 million settlement earlier this year. Eligible class members can file a claim until August 24th of next year to receive a cash settlement of up to $100,000. The class action argued the government's use of solitary confinement was negligent and breached inmates' charter rights. Solitary confinement was defined as segregation in a room or area without meaningful human contact for at least 22 hours a day. The provincial government agreed to resolve the class action through the settlement without a trial while denying liability. More than 11,000 lightning strikes hit BC during that major storm over the weekend, and some homes were put on wildfire alert.
Just was at the door, and it was a girl from the fire department here at Lions Bay that said, "Hi, here's your alert."
Lightning is the suspected cause of a small fire in Lions Bay. Meanwhile, a record 1,725 lightning strikes hit Metro Vancouver between Saturday evening and Sunday morning. That's double the previous record back in 2013. The storm had grounded flights for 5 hours at the Vancouver airport. BC Wildfire Service confirmed more than 180 wildfires were burning Monday following that intense storms. That number is now below 180 fires burning across the province. 75% of the new fires have already been classified as either held, under control, or out. Meanwhile, air quality continues to be reduced through the BC interior, and new advisories have expanded northward. This morning, Iran is saying it won't be affected by new U.S. sanctions. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says any country or business trading with Iran could face sanctions. China is the biggest buyer of Iranian oil, but imports have been affected by the U.S. blockade. In responding to the threat, Iran's economic minister says China and Russia have not accepted the new U.S. measures, and it expects other countries to reject them. The Toronto Zoo is celebrating 6 months with its new baby giraffe. Zoo staff say Imara has come a long way since her birth in February. They posted an update on social media writing, "It has been an incredible 6 months watching Imara grow. She now stands over 8 feet tall and weighs more than 560 pounds. That's about 390 pounds more than what she weighed at birth." Staff say she has become curious, adventurous, and confident as she explores her surroundings and learns from mom. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush on Kenaston. The northbound shoulder lane will be closed from Lindenwood to Rothwell Road. On Grosvenor Avenue, the eastbound middle and curb lanes, also the westbound curb lane, will be closed from Stafford to Cambridge Street. And on Stradbrook Avenue, only one eastbound lane will be open from Wellington to Osborne. Here's a look now at your gas prices. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.66. That's a small drop from yesterday's amount. And the lowest price in the city is $1.48. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's 17 degrees outside right now, mainly sunny. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more news, weather, and traffic. Stay with us.
Rather pleasant start to your Tuesday. It's already 17 degrees out there. Sky's pretty clear. Winds still fairly light. That'll be changing. Currently at west-southwesterly winds at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 87%. So yes, good amount of sunshine already in the Red River Valley. However, we are once again on watch for that rain and maybe some thunderstorm activity developing from the stacked low pressure system. You can see it really concentrating over Dauphin. I checked it with some heavy rain falling. It's since lightened up a little bit, still pretty rainy out there, and you can see with it some thunderstorms wrapped in there. Haven't seen any reports of thunderstorms materializing yet, but always a possibility throughout the day. There is a lower chance of that same system migrating all the way to the northeast. Likely though, you're going to stay dry with a mix of sun and cloud. Very hot highs above seasonal for Thompson and Gillam at 25 degrees. Island Lake doing well as well at 22 degrees. Over in Churchill 18 degrees. The northwest has a much stronger chance of rain and thunderstorms, particularly in and around Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Pond, Flin Flon. There, temperatures will be 24 degrees. As I move out of the way, you can see 23 in Norway House, 21 in Lynn Lake. The southwest, you have a chance as well at some of that moisture. Brandon and Neepawa, less so. Likely a mix of sun and cloud for you with highs at 22 degrees. A little bit cooler in Dauphin with that rain expected through the morning and maybe some thunderstorms into the afternoon. Much the same for us here. Temperatures a bit cooler than yesterday, slightly below seasonal at 22 degrees. I mentioned some stronger winds. They'll be ramping up later this morning and shifting out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. So do add some extra hairspray. I certainly did. And the northwest, pretty overcast, rain, thunderstorms likely for you, particularly into the late afternoon. For us, temperatures dipping down to 14 overnight, those winds staying strong, and we have a chance of more rain and thunderstorms, very scattered, but that chance really eases around midnight. Setting the stage for a lovely day tomorrow, 24 degrees with mostly clear sunny skies.
Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's hanging out at the Mint, getting really a unique perspective of how things are being done there. Good morning.
Well, I told you guys earlier about my background in manufacturing, and today I have the steel toe boots to prove it. I can't even kick that high. Simon, the president, good morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for hosting us today. What a privilege it is to get this behind-the-scenes look. A really big unveiling yesterday. What can you tell us about it?
It was an amazing event. We were with the Royal Canadian Legion, and it was their Dominion convention. And we were so proud to unveil the circulation coin, a $2 circulation coin, honoring the 100th anniversary of the Royal Canadian Legion. which was designed by an artist from Alberta, Vlada Pashenko, a young up-and-coming artist who did a phenomenal job. And the team here at the Mint put their artistry, metallurgy, knowledge, and know-how in taking a design and putting it on a piece of metal, which turned out to be Artuni. And this is a proud accomplishment by the Mint and the employees, who were so proud to work on this project with the Royal Canadian Legion.
As they should be, right? Like, this building does such neat things from design to production. We're looking at a lot of the people who are operating these machines. Tell us about that process and why it's so unique to Manitoba.
You're in a world-class manufacturing facility. So the Royal Canadian Mint has been in existence since 1908. Here in Winnipeg since 1976, and since then it's been renowned across the globe. In fact, a little known fact, we produce coinage for countries across the globe. Here we produce circulation coins, but we also produce circulation coins for other countries. Reason being is this facility, the Mint, is world-renowned, and they know that we produce quality products, but also with safety features that are extremely important to many countries as well.
I feel like this is my workplace introduction. Like, okay, we got the safety features, we got everything, but I don't know if I'm off to a good start, Rochelle, because when we came in here, I was, gifted this quite early, and I was walking out of maximum security, and it popped out. I said, I swear, I walked in with it. They gifted it to me early.
Oh, no. All right. Thanks, Ainsley. Monarch butterflies are endangered, but right now they're making a comeback across Saskatchewan. Their bright orange wings are showing up in gardens and fields, giving Canadians a rare summer spectacle. Here's CTV's Allison Bamford on what's driving the surge.
Tyler Flockhart studies monarch butterflies. He's fascinated by the resilience of something so fragile.
You have an insect that weighs as much as a quarter that can fly all the way from southern Canada all the way to Mexico and then back in the spring. It's pretty remarkable.
Monarch butterflies are an endangered species in Canada and not common on the prairies. But this year, the ecologist is seeing more than usual in Saskatoon, a sign that we could be in the midst of a butterfly boom.
We know that when monarchs are at fairly good numbers in the summer, they start showing up in places where you are in the western provinces.
People across the prairies are taking note, patiently capturing the tiny details of metamorphosis from caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly. Experts say it's common for insect populations to fluctuate. Favorable weather conditions likely contributed to this year's numbers.
Over the long term, we're still in a state where the populations are considerably lower than what they had been.
Habitat loss, particularly the loss of milkweed plants, seems to be the main driver behind the declining population. Flockhart is now part of a larger group looking into the monarch's exact habitat locations, using these tiny tags to track where the monarchs go and when they go there. Information that he says could help in conservation.
Particularly for the prairie provinces, it gives us information to understand how important are the prairies to the monarch population as a whole.
Some monarchs have already started migrating. Flockhart hopes to begin tagging butterflies as soon as possible so their flights south can be tracked in real time. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday to wife Donna with lots of love from your husband Steven. Happiest first birthday to baby doll Rita. Love from mom, dad, and the rest of the Lequette clan. And happy birthday to Rita's dad Jerry. Love from wifey Courtney, Kingsley, Rita, and the rest of the family. To submit your milestone, visit our website ctvnewswinnipeg.ca and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
It's going to be a lovely day, if not a touch cool for this time of year. 22 degrees is our expected high. 23 is what's seasonal. We're doing much better than last year and happily well off the mark of the hottest day on record for us here in Winnipeg, 34.4. That sounds nasty, doesn't it? Alrighty, once again, we have a chance of rain and thunderstorms throughout the day here in Winnipeg. I want to draw your attention to the rain gauge. Looks like we got about 10 millimeters worth of rain yesterday. That was between yesterday's show and this morning. So we saw kind of two periods. In the morning, we had a good amount of rainfall, and then we had a little bit of thunderstorm activity into the evening hours. Much the same, we're going to start off with that mix of sun and cloud here in the Red River Valley, and then we have a chance of rain and thunderstorms, about a 60% chance in and around noon and into the afternoon. Winds are going to be ramping up considerably out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperatures throughout are going to be in the low to mid 20s. Meanwhile, also a strong chance of rain and thunderstorms in Dauphin and Swan River. Dauphin, you've already seen a good amount of precipitation this morning. Brandon and Nipawin, lighter chance, but a chance nonetheless. Temperatures there in the mid-20s. Meanwhile, over in the northwest, also divided. The northeast, you have a low chance of rain, likely a mix of sun and cloud. Hot highs in the mid-20s. Well, it's looking like a good chance of more precipitation over in the northwest. The Pond, Flin Flon, get those umbrellas ready.
Thank you, Catherine. A local honey farm is making a quick pivot in its business model after trade talks collapsed between the U.S. and Canada this past weekend. The stinging new 50% U.S. tariffs are making it impossible for Podolsky Honey Farms in Ethelbert to continue, as the majority of the company's customers are based in the U.S. Joining us now from Podolsky Honey Farms is Aussie Podolsky. Good morning, Aussie.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks so much for joining us. Now, tell us about your product and how the U.S. is your biggest customer.
Yeah, so primarily we've been a bulk supplier, and we specialized in providing bulk honey to U.S. customers, given that Canada typically has an oversaturation of honey and is an exporting country. That's where our market has developed over the decades.
And this has been going on for years for you. So then when the trade talks collapsed this past weekend, what does it mean?
Effectively, we were cut off from our customers. We tried to ship as much product as we could that we had honey barreled, loading trucks trying to beat the tariffs, which I presumed were going to come into effect. And at this point, we're going to try and fill some Canadian contracts we have. And yeah, now we're looking to pivot into direct-to-consumer web sales and potentially retail. There's been an overwhelming amount of support and outreach from Canadians.
Now, we saw that on social media. There's a lot of Canadians that say, you know what, we're just going to buy your product and support you as much as you can. What was your response when you saw just the overwhelming Canadian reaction to helping your business?
Just pure shock. I was talking with my father, and it doesn't feel real to see that there's so many people that actually care. We had thought about, in the future at some point going direct to consumer, but honestly, we never thought it would happen, and it's amazing.
So what did people tell you?
They want to support Canadian beekeepers. They're here to buy our honey, or if not ours, they're going to buy from their local beekeeper. People don't want to see the bee industry collapse. It's important for food production, for food safety, for security.
So what does this mean to your business now? What do you have to do to sort of transition from the American market to the Canadian market?
Currently, we have to take our honey, which typically would be barreled and sold bulk, and have it packaged, bottled, and ready to ship to consumers. So setting up an e-shop and getting a hold of packaging facilities. We have a friend who's doing that, who owns a packaging facility, bottling, a lot of logistics, but we're working hard right now.
Is it something that is easy to do, considering that this is something you've been working on for just a few days since the trade talks collapsed on Friday?
Easy to do in the sense as I can figure anything out if I put my mind to it, but the customer base was the challenge to do something like this, and people are reaching out and saying, we're here, we're waiting, let us know when we can purchase.
Okay, so for other businesses out there right now worried about what this trade war means to them, what would you tell them?
Just try it. You can't be negative about it. You have to go ahead and be a go-getter. And if you have a good product and you have something that people want, they will buy it. People want to support Canadian, and it's truly amazing.
Do you believe Canadian shoppers can make a difference for your business here?
Absolutely. The gross surplus even Canada-wide, is about 30 million pounds get exported every year. Our population is over 40 million, I believe. So not even every person has to buy 1 pound of honey to use up all that surplus.
Wow. Okay. So then what do you think about social media and its influence on what's happening here as well?
It is amazing how fast people can get connected and hear about this and reach out. It spreads like wildfire. It's amazing.
It's as sweet as your honey. All right. Well, thank you, Aussie, for sharing this. And, we'll have to keep in contact and see how things are going for you guys, if anything changes or if you need more support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Glenn Sheeler in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for that, we're going to Chicago. First inning, one on for Andrew Benintendi, and he's going to drill this one to right. This is heading over the fence until Brandon Nimmo leaps and takes away the home run. This would have tied the game. Instead, it's an incredible catch. Nimmo making the grab with his glove over the wall. And yes, he's fired up, probably because he knows that home run robbery has earned him the must-see moment. Well, tonight on TSN, we've got some more Major League Baseball action. The Dodgers face the Braves. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern. Then the Cubs take on the Diamondbacks at 9:30 Eastern. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom, everyone. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
All right, here's a look outside now at Portage Avenue. You can see things have really picked up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with your 8 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. It's Tuesday, August 25th. Fallout from the breakdown. What many affected Manitoba businesses are expecting when the U.S. adopts tougher tariffs on what we export. Vulnerable population. Why First Nations leaders say the current approach to managing wildfire evacuations is inadequate and leads to undue stress on those displaced. And from respectable to rocker to unruly rat's nest, you may be surprised to learn what needs to happen before this man's mane sees the clippers again. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Now at 8:15, we're going to tell you about a conference that's coming up. It's called Beyond the Degree, and it's about young students supporting other young students. We're going to tell you what that's about. And then at 8:45, the Whoop and Holler Folk Festival is back this weekend, and there's a lot of cool things happening there as well. And the weather looks good so far today, but we might see some rain here and there.
Rain is possible, but yes, this kind of stormier start to our week is really going to be short-lived because we have a good amount of sunshine on the way. But yeah, for those who like a rainy day, you could be in luck today depending on where you're at in the province. It's 17 degrees here in Winnipeg. Good amount of sunshine to kick off this Tuesday. Winds are out of the west-southwest, shaking our cameras at 15 kilometers per hour. Barometric pressure rising this hour. Humidity sitting at 87%. So yes, we have this system kind of keeping its eye on us, or we're keeping our eye on it, rather. You can see it's really hovering in and around Dauphin. You had some heavy rainfall already this morning, and there's some instability wrapped in there, so always that possibility of thunderstorms. I've not seen a report of it yet, but we'll just keep watching and waiting. Meanwhile, as we pull out to our futurecast, you can see that it will be extending a little further down to the south, so could be making its way to Meriden and Neepo. A lesser chance of that. More likely, as it clips through, it starts to put us in its crosshairs in the Red River Valley. Rain and thunderstorms likely around noon or into the early afternoon, and from there as well, a good amount of cloud coverage and strong winds out of the northwest, ramping up at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. The north really starts to clear out at that point, so you could get a couple of patches of sunshine. That's the good news. Then we kind of ease up into the early evening, but then there's a chance of a flare-up of rain or thunderstorms in and around midnight for us here in Winnipeg. But you can see we start clearing off by those early morning hours into tomorrow. And that means lots of sunshine on the way. While today will be a bit cooler, we'll start to see an upward climb in terms of our temperatures. While the north, you have sunshine on the way for you, but into the the northeast there, you start to see that cloud build overnight. We talked about cooler temperatures, 22 degrees, a hair below seasonal, and then into tomorrow we're rebounding nicely with very hot highs into the weekend. Your weather art of the day drawn by Maia, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. 12 years old, drew this incredible photo of a twister, looks like. Thank you so much for sending that in, and if you would like to submit your child's weather artwork or picture perhaps, just visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. There you got to fill out a form. Your art can be shown on Your Morning Winnipeg, and it's also going to enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift card from Crocodoodle at the Kenaston and Regent locations.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crocodoodle Paint Your Own Pottery, now open on Regent and Kenaston.
Manitoba businesses find themselves caught in the middle of an escalating trade war between Canada and the United States. Now impacted industries are dealing with new 50% U.S. tariffs, plus soon-to-be announced counter tariffs from Canada.
This is elementary school stuff, and here we are, we have the leaders of the whole country just flinging off accusations and saying whatever they want. Well, I mean, come on, how's this going to work?
This airless tire manufacturer in Winnipeg is worried about Canadian counter tariffs hitting materials they have to import. Owner Derek Hurd says he wants Canadian leaders to stop with the rhetoric and get back to the bargaining table. Meanwhile, a lot of Phil Veldhouse's honey is exported south, but because of the newly escalated trade war with the U.S., he says that door is shut because President Donald Trump moved forward with 50% tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Canadian goods, including honey. Veldhouse sends 90% of his honey to a cooperative which sells to markets, including the U.S.
Paid from my cooperative based on their success in selling. So in a situation where they can't sell the honey, I don't get paid.
The province and the federal government have both promised support for impacted industries. Details on Ottawa's response plan are to be released today. The federal housing advocate says First Nations are stuck in a spiraling cycle during wildfire season, and she's pointing the finger at a lack of coordinated emergency management and a severe housing gap. While looking at 2025, which was the second worst wildfire season on record, the report says First Nations were given little or no warning of the changing conditions, and some were outright ignored by provincial governments. The advocate pointed to Manitoba, saying the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs and MKO called for support for communities that had declared a state of emergency, but the province didn't respond for 10 days. On top of that, the report found vast differences in how people were being helped. Some municipalities and Indigenous organizations worked together to support evacuees. Others were wholly unprepared for the number of evacuees and their needs, and some were unwilling to receive evacuees altogether.
We see communities being evacuated. The questions are, where are families going? Are families staying connected? How are children still accessing education?
The report makes 10 recommendations, including a national emergency management strategy, First Nations-led fire safety and monitoring, and improvements to infrastructure on reserves. WestJet flight attendants have ratified a new collective agreement with the airline after a one-day strike earlier this month. 90.2% voted in favor of the three-year deal. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says it includes a more than 18% wage hike over 3 years, as well as new compensation for work done on the ground. The contract gives workers a 13% wage increase this October, followed by smaller hikes in January and at the start of 2028. The federal government has plans to build 6 new icebreakers for the Canadian Coast Guard.
We'll move fast. The first steel, Canadian steel, the first steel will be cut next fall. The first ship will be delivered 5 years later.
Prime Minister Carney called it the largest shipbuilding contract in the province's history, with the government investing $11 billion into Quebec's shipbuilding industry. The new vessels fall under the federal government's Buy Canadian procurement policy and will be built with Canadian steel. More than 1,500 suppliers from across Canada are expected to be involved in the shipbuilding. The contract will support 5,000 jobs during construction. An advisor to the Kremlin said there might be a, quote, semi-military response against UK drone factories by unknown sources. This is over sharing blueprints for British-made cruise missile components with Ukraine. The comments were made following Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's meeting with UK's new Prime Minister Andy Burnham. Both leaders participated in Independence Day proceedings in Kyiv. Burnham announced plans to travel to the U.S. in September with European leaders to lobby U.S. President Trump on Ukraine's defense needs. A new Premier League season is bringing hope to plenty of fans and hopefully a haircut.
Day 688 of not cutting my hair until Man United win 5 games in a row.
This is Frank. He's a Manchester United fan who hasn't cut his hair in more than 688 days. He's gone viral over the past 22 months after pledging not to cut his hair until Manchester United wins 5 games in a row. The club finished last season with 2 straight victories. He started this challenge 8 months after United's most recent 5-game win streak, which they completed in 2024. All right, here's a look outside right now at what's happening at Confusion Corner. Things appear to be moving quite well and have picked up in this part of the city. If you see any issues out in traffic, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires, proudly keeping Canadians rolling for 50 years.
Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live this morning at the Royal Canadian Mint. When we think about making coins, technology has really changed. Good morning, Ainsley.
Well, you have never seen a toonie like this, or a Canada $2, as they say in manufacturing. Good morning, Brad, one of the engineers here. Thank you for inviting us into this space. Let's look at the early parts that it's going to be a toonie.
Yes, we'll show you how we make the Canada $2 coin. Here we have some samples of some coin blanks. So the Canada $2, as you know, is a 2-piece coin where we have a brass-plated core and a nickel-plated insert. And what we're going to show you in a little bit is how we put these together at 10 per second as we put the brass insert into the ring. And then these dies will strike the Canada $2 coin with the obverse and the reverse at 10 per second. This all happens inside the coining collar so that we can get the serrated edge on the coin, where it also says Canada $2.
That's so neat, too. It's for accessibility. It's for security. Everything is so purposeful when it comes to these coins. Next, we're going to go to the other part of production, and I'm very pleased to say that I get to push that button. But Brad, tell us about this machinery.
Yeah, this is a coining press called a MRV 150, and we're going to be striking 10 coins per second at a tonnage of about 1,000 kilonewtons or 100 tons.
Kilonewton, I've never heard that one. This is the button. Thank you, I have to be reminded. And there we go.
So yeah, the press is assembling those 2 pieces at a rate of 10 per second. We'll make about 300,000 pieces a shift, some 900,000 pieces a day.
You said to me that this is the most complicated coin. Why would you say that is?
Yes, so it's the most valuable coin we make, and there's a lot of details that go into this coin. For example, it says Canada $2 around the perimeter. It has very fine security features like laser marks and subtle details. 2-piece coin, electroplating, unique magnetic signature for vending machines. Yeah, it's the most complicated coin we make.
Oh, and to think that these are even like curated specifically for vending machines. It's so neat the way that you guys advance technology. Thank you so much, Brad, for being on the show today, for showing us it all and giving me my only opportunity to ever be invited here to be an engineer.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, Ainsley. When I see a pile of coins, I just want to like put my hand in there.
Like the sticky bandits, got like a sticky thing around here. Like, I'm never not the person that once had didn't have in-suite laundry. So anytime I'd see coins, I'm like, oh, that's great to do your laundry for those apartment dwellers out there. Yeah. So today, a golden morning unfolding. We're certainly rich in terms of our temperatures as we take a look through the CTV Live Eye, which is brought to you by Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. Good amount of sunshine to kick us off, though we could have a bit of a turn coming later on this morning, maybe early afternoon. But a warmer note, as mentioned, than we've been starting at. 18 degrees already in Portage La Prairie, over in Winnipeg as well, 17 in Brandon, and to that note, Pinawa at 17 as well. Kenora a little bit warmer at 18 degrees. Northern Manitoba temperatures very similar to what we're seeing here, though a bit cooler over in Churchill and Gillam at 13 degrees, 14 in Thompson. So we're keeping an eye on this stacked low pressure system. There's the stack there. You can see some scattered rainfall and thunderstorm activity really Dauphin has had a good amount of rainfall already. It's lightened up a little bit, but it's looking to be kind of concentrating in and around the parkland and moving up as far as the Paw and Flin Flon this morning. For us here in Winnipeg, we too are likely to get a taste of that. It's going to begin drifting further into the southeast. So a clear morning to start. As mentioned, we're at 17 degrees. We have those west-southwesterly winds. They will eventually shift out of the northwest. Stronger gusts on the way at 30, gusting to 50 kilometers per hour. 22 is our high. We're hitting it around 2 p.m. And that's also when we have a 60% chance of rain and maybe some thunderstorms wrapped in there as well. And that prolongs into the early evening. From there, we could see some scattered showers overnight, really easing by midnight. Temperatures dipping down to 14. Those northwesterly winds staying strong. And then tomorrow, our skies starting to clear. Our temperatures warm back up. 24 on Wednesday and Thursday before Friday looks to be picture perfect and hot at 26 degrees. We're going to be learning about a student-led conference just ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Alert to tell you about now. Motor vehicle collision is blocking the northbound median lane on La Jumadière near Elizabeth Road, so keep right to pass.
The Bank of Nova Scotia reporting a third quarter profit of $2.95 billion, up from $2.53 billion a year ago. Revenue for the quarter totaled $10.54 billion in its third quarter, up from $9.49 in the same quarter last year. Now, Scotiabank's provision for credit losses for the quarter amounted to $1.08 billion, up from $1.04 billion a year ago. Also reporting today, BMO had posted a third quarter profit of $1.75 billion, down from $2.33 billion a year earlier, as it took a charge related to the sale of its transportation and vendor finance businesses. Revenue for the quarter totaled $9.9 billion, up from $8.99 a year earlier. And BMO's provision for credit losses amounted to $722 million, down from $797 million a year ago. The trade war between the U.S. and Canada erupted into an extraordinary exchange of insults and threats between President Donald Trump and Doug Ford, leader of Ontario. In a radio interview, the Premier's response to Trump's post on the deal: "He can kiss my you-know-what as far as I'm concerned." Trump then posted on Truth Social calling Ford the less charismatic, intelligent, and overall unimpressive brother of the late, great Rob Ford. Rob was mayor of Toronto. And U.S. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer criticizing President Donald Trump's trade actions against Canada, warning that the tariffs could increase costs for American families and manufacturers, and urged Republicans to challenge the policy. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
An upcoming back-to-school conference at the University of Manitoba is being organized by young people for young people. The conference is called Beyond the Degree and is bringing students and youth together to support their growth and development during and after university. And joining us now is Victory Chaku, and the founder of the youth group called Alivia Hub, and Prabnur Singh, a panelist for the back-to-school conference. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's just begin with when you first were thinking about university. What were some of the surprises and the challenges you faced, and how it made it more difficult as a student for you?
Well, so I completed high school in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I did start my university education in Canada, and so that switch was very new. The experience was very new, especially because in the Canadian education system, I see that a lot of times we believe that students are adults and they can, make decisions for themselves and they can figure things out for themselves. But compared to where I'm coming from, going into university, they will tell you, oh, these are the courses you're supposed to do. Like, this is what you're supposed to do in first year, this is what you're supposed to do in second year.
Right.
But in the educational system here and in many other places across the world, you need to actively go out to seek out that information, right? And
they don't just feed it to you.
Yeah, they don't just feed it to you. So you need to ask questions, and for some of us, it's not something that we are necessarily used to, and especially because I started university during COVID.
Oh my gosh.
So I started classes online, so I didn't necessarily have access to easy access to academic advisors and all of that. So
what about you, Prabnur? You had a similar experience, or kind of down the same route?
Yeah, I basically saw university as a necessity for me to
get into the workforce. But at university, I was just going to classes, doing my assignments, my homework, and not really focusing on building the skills that were necessary for me to, get started on a job or start a business, be an entrepreneur. It was very academic focused for me during my undergrad.
So this conference is meant to answer some of those questions, address some of those challenges, and sort of put their new students' fears at rest and sort of give them a little direction, right? Why did you want to do this?
Well, I started Olivia Hope Festival because of my personal experiences in school in terms of finding opportunities and finding answers to questions. So the reason for Back to School Conference is to answer those questions that students and young people have. Last year, the focus was academic excellence. And this year, we are looking at life beyond the degree, right? Beyond assignments, beyond quizzes. I feel like a lot of students think that they are confined to the curriculum, to being in class. But there is so much more that we can do as students. There are so many opportunities out there for us to access. And a lot of young people do not even know about these opportunities.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And so if somebody wants to join in or get more information about the conference, it's happening on Saturday, but you have to pre-register online. We have a link on how to do that right on our website. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you
for having us.
Thank you very much.
Future is certainly bright for those students and for us here in Winnipeg, for that matter, because yes, cheesy morning pun, but yes, we have so much sunshine on the way for us. 17 degrees in Winnipeg. It's already a sunny start. Winds out of the west-southwest at 22 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sitting at 86%. We'll be soaking up the sunshine through much of the morning in the Red River Valley. Then we have a good chance of rain and thunderstorms approaching us at around noon, maybe lasting into the afternoon as well. With it, yes, that instability. Stronger northwesterly winds as well on tap at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperatures take a bit of a dip from yesterday. It was hot yesterday, 26 for yesterday, 22 for us here today, just a slight degree below what's typical for this time of year, so not too shabby. Meanwhile, that chance of rain and thunderstorms does extend to our friends in the southwest. Lesser chance in Brandon and Neepawa. Highs for you around for us, similar to what we're seeing here in Winnipeg, but a stronger chance of rain in and around Dauphin. In fact, you've already seen a good amount of precipitation. That could continue throughout the day. And that rainfall likely to extend in the Paw and the Flin Flon area, so make sure those umbrellas are handy. For us here in Winnipeg, we could get rain into the evening hours as close to midnight as possible, and then tapering off overnight as temperatures dip to 14. Winds staying strong before sunshine reemerges tomorrow. Speaking of sunshine, this guy was basking in it over in Brereton Lake, and Kathleen was ready to snap his photo. Thanks for sending that in, and if you've got any weather photos to share, do email us at winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by the Better Business Bureau. Research at bbb.org before you buy.
Some young Manitoba athletes are going to be hitting the gridiron later this month for a chance to train alongside one of the Blue and Gold's own. Joining me now to share more about this, I'm joined by Sam Cortez with Sport Manitoba. Sam, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So this is a pretty cool opportunity. Tell us a little bit more about the Winnipeg Blue Bomber football camp hosted by Nick Dembski and what kind of special opportunities it's presenting for young Manitoba athletes.
Yeah, so it's a co-ed football camp for kids age 7 to 10, but it's all skill levels, so everyone's welcome in that age range. And yeah, they're going to be joined by Nick Dembski and friends at the Princess Auto Stadium. So it's a really cool opportunity for kids to get into that space on that field and gain some foundational football skills. So it's also non-contact. So yeah, it should be a really awesome experience for them.
Well, let's talk a little bit about this partnership between Kids Sport Manitoba and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and how it's giving these opportunities to Manitobans, young Manitobans, regardless of their financial circumstances.
Yeah, exactly. So the camp specifically itself is going to be supporting Kids Sport Manitoba. And Kids Sport Manitoba, Kids Sport is a national charity across the country. And here in Manitoba, this camp is going to be going towards helping families facing financial barriers to, help them play a season of football. So you can feel also really good about that the proceeds is going towards helping kids play sport in Manitoba.
Yeah, very deserving kids. So if parents, caregivers, loved ones are loving the sounds of this, how can they get more information and possibly register their child?
Yeah, for sure. You can go to kidsportcanada.ca/Manitoba. More information is there and how to register as well.
All right. Sam, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
This report is brought to you by Sport Manitoba, growing sport, wellness, and community.
Monday wasn't just another day to hit the links at Morton's Minnewaska Golf and Country Club. A long period of rebuilding was finally wrapped up. But the grass wasn't always so green. As CTV's Joseph Bernacki shows you, its clubhouse burnt down twice.
At Minnewaska Golf and Country Club, golfers on the driving range work on their swing before the end of summer. But this hasn't been an ordinary season in Morton.
It's been a journey over the last couple of years, and yeah, to be able to sit here, it is surreal. It's a good word for it.
Greg Heesum remembers a cold day in January 2025. The clubhouse in ruins after a second devastating fire, just after they reopened from a previous fire in November 2021. Heesum recalls sifting through the rubble in -30.
Probably how unreal that felt. I actually thought someone was playing a joke on me when they made the call to say that there was another fire.
The cause was found to be electrical, but membership in the community got together to rebuild yet again. Now, a state-of-the-art clubhouse looks over the 9th green with a patio and year-round restaurant. Operations are once again par for the course.
Started building last June and just finished up here in July and got back into the space midsummer. So yeah, unfortunately we got really well practiced at running out of a tent and a snack shack.
We're a strong community. We gathered, we came together. The community was supportive of the rebuild, and look where we are today.
Morton Mayor Nancy Penner says starting over shows how resilient the club really is. So what do golfers think of the new space? We caught up with Ryan Weeb and his friends on the 15th tee and after the round on the 18th green.
I'm not going to miss that tent. We spend a lot of time in that tent, especially after league nights, and it's just great to have this, and we're able to come, sit on the patio, sit inside.
We got this one up and running. It's been the best thing ever for the town.
What do they say? 3rd time's a charm. So I'd say it's beautiful. Our course is beautiful, but it's nice to have a clubhouse that matches.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Morton.
Looks like it's a beautiful day to do some golfing, and today won't be bad either. Here's a look outside now on Osborne Street. Things are moving well. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Certainly a golden start to your Tuesday here in Winnipeg. 17 degrees, wind starting to ramp up out of the west-southwest at 22 clicks. Pressure on the rise, humidity sitting at 86%. Once again, though, you're going to want to have those umbrellas handy today all throughout southern Manitoba. You can see we've got a good amount of activity on our radar here. The stack of low pressure systems bringing the possibility of rain and thunderstorms through many parts of the province, the northeast included. However, the chance is lower for you. More likely scenario is a mix of sun and cloud. Warm above seasonal temperatures in Thompson and Gillam at 25 degrees, 18 in Churchill, Lynn Lake at 22. Stronger chance of seeing some rainfall and yes, maybe some instability there in the northwest, particularly in and around Opaskwayak, Cree Nation, the Pond, Flin Flon. Highs there warm and above seasonal at 24 degrees, 21 in Lynn Lake, 23 in Norway House. Dauphin's already had a rainy morning. It could continue throughout the day as well. Temperatures throughout this region peaking in the low 20s. Brandon and Neepawa, you too have a low chance of rain and thunderstorms, likely though a mix of sun and cloud for you. Our chance comes later on this afternoon, or excuse me, later on this morning, early this afternoon. Meanwhile, those winds I mentioned, they're going to get stronger out of the northwest at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Temperatures take a bit of a tumble versus yesterday, still a bit below seasonal, 22 in Winnipeg when 23 is typical. The northwest, pretty overcast for you. Temperatures peaking in the low 20s, rain and thunderstorms expected off and on throughout the day. For us here, we also have a low risk of rain and thunderstorms till about midnight. Then skies clear, temperatures dip to 14. Winds stay strong out of the northwest. And then tomorrow the sunshine returns. 24 degrees are high. Same goes for Thursday, and it gets even hotter on Friday.
The Winnipeg Police Service has renewed its appeal for information on the disappearance of a 41-year-old man whose case has now remained unsolved for 1 year. Paul Lecas was last in contact with his family on Sunday, August 9th, 2025 in Winnipeg. Lecas is described as 6'1" in height with a heavy build, short wavy brown hair and brown eyes. The Winnipeg Police Service is concerned for his well-being and is asking anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of Paul Lecas to contact the Winnipeg Police Service Missing Persons Unit at 204-986-6250. A strike deadline has been issued for hundreds of Dynacare workers. The Manitoba Association of Healthcare Professionals says job action will begin at 6 a.m. September 8th if an agreement can't be reached. The strike would impact 350 workers at Dynacare's 22 laboratory and health centers in the province, including Winnipeg and Brandon. The news comes days after members voted 99.7% in favor of a strike mandate. The union says workers want better compensation. It says since 2017, wages have fallen 20 to 50% behind public hospital laboratories. Both parties previously agreed under provincial essential services legislation. It's not necessary to continue Dynacare's laboratory services in the event of a strike. This means all Dynacares, including the main processing lab in Winnipeg, would be shut down during a strike. CTV News has reached out to Dynacare for comment. Prisoners who were put in solitary confinement while at Manitoba youth and adult jails can now file a claim as part of a class action lawsuit. As we previously reported, the Manitoba Court of King's Bench approved a $129 million settlement earlier this year. Eligible class members can file a claim until August 24th of next year to receive a cash settlement of up to $100,000. The class action argued the government's use of solitary confinement was negligent and breached inmates' charter rights. Solitary confinement was defined as segregation in a room or area without meaningful human contact for at least 22 hours a day. The provincial government agreed to resolve the class action through the settlement without a trial while denying liability. The world's most prestigious tango tournament is underway in Argentina. The qualifiers kicked off this weekend in Buenos Aires. It is the largest tournament of its kind in the world, featuring hundreds of couples from countries all over the world, including Canada. If you're planning a trip, you may be tempted to book a flight, hotel room, or rental car through a third-party website. You can often get a better deal, but if there's a cancellation, you could end up stuck in the middle trying to get a refund. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
Very disappointed, but on the other hand, safety comes first.
Vivian of Mississauga asked we only use her first name. She flew to Poland in March to meet her husband, and they planned an anniversary trip. First to Abu Dhabi in the United Arab Emirates, and then on to the Maldives Islands in the Indian Ocean. They were on the plane ready to take off when the conflict in the Middle East caused the airline to cancel their flight.
Unfortunately, the war broke out, and we stuck on the plane, and the flight got canceled because the airspace was closed in Abu Dhabi.
The two round-trip tickets cost almost $10,000. When Vivian contacted the airline, Etihad Airways, she was told she was entitled to a full refund. But because she booked through Expedia, the money would have to be refunded to the booking website first. Etihad Airways issued the refund of almost $10,000 to Expedia, and Vivian was told she would get her money back in 4 to 8 weeks. But she never did.
We expect a refund by April. And then we call in April and never happened. They said another 4 to 8 weeks.
Months passed, and despite promises, the refund never showed up. Vivian became concerned she might never get it.
Everybody said the same thing, but I just don't see the money back. I don't see my money.
When CTV News reached out to Expedia on Vivian's behalf, a spokesperson said, upon investigation, her refund request was submitted incorrectly to the airline. We sincerely apologize for the inconvenience this caused. Expedia then refunded the $9,934 right away, which was great news for her.
We got the money back, a full refund, and plus they give us a $400 credit. We really appreciate the help. Wish all the best for CTV.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Here's a look at the current traffic situation now at Main and Broadway. It looks like things have really picked up over here, but we haven't heard of any delays in this part of the city. Here's a look now at your gas prices. Winnipeg, the average is $1.66. It's a slight drop from yesterday's amount. The lowest price in the city is $1.48. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today marks the start of the Be Kind to Humankind week. So we asked, what was your last act of kindness? Marlene shared, I gave a purse to someone, leave painted rocks in nature, and someone gave me a gift card lately. That's nice. Trevor says, my last act of kindness was last Christmas when I donated $50 to the Silent Mission and Manitoba Harvest. Susan gave an old lady the seat on the bus. A viewer texted, a group of people at a restaurant were trying to take a selfie, so I offered to take their picture. That's really great. And then another viewer says, my last act of kindness was providing my help to someone who was hungry. I bought a homeless man a chicken dinner from IGA. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley, who's been hanging out at the Royal Canadian Mint this morning. A really cool place to visit and get a tour with your family. Good morning, Ainsley.
Yes, and especially when they've unveiled some brand new coins. Omo is going to show us a variety because, wow, they're really pretty, they're really neat, and they have over 100 years of history with them. So tell us about the brand new coin.
The new coin is this one. It's the one we made specially to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Legion. It's a $2 coin painted in 5 colors. This coin is extremely beautiful.
And rare, too.
Extremely rare, yes.
Tell us about, actually, the expensive one. I mean, they're all worth a lot, but this big, fat gold one.
Okay, so during the FIFA World Cup, we made this coin. It's a $50,000 coin. It's about 5 ounces of pure gold, 24 karat gold, 99.99 purity.
I didn't see. That's why I didn't say how much, because I didn't know if I was allowed to say it was worth $50K. Wow. This one has a little surprise for us.
Yes, this is a coin. It's in the shape of a coin, but it's a butterfly coin. So every year we make this monarch butterfly coin, and this is the latest one for 2026.
Okay, well, you didn't show us the secret behind it, though.
Oh, there you go.
Well, you do the front, you have to do to the back. Let's talk about what's happening this weekend, because yes, we're celebrating the new coin, but this space is very unique in that you've got manufacturing, you're producing things, but you're inviting the public to come by.
Yes, we are celebrating the Mint at 50, and that celebration will come with a display of historical things. We would have cupcakes, we will have self-guided tours for our visitors, and the visitors will have the opportunity to also see our new gold bar.
Oh, okay. How much is that worth then, if I'm allowed to ask?
Okay, the gold bar is about 400 ounces of pure gold, and it's today price, it's about $2.6 million.
Well, if you have $2.6 million, $50K, or even $2, it's still a piece of Canadian history, and it's really nice to just bring the kids and come on down this weekend.
That's incredible. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there?
It's sunny and lovely out here, Rochelle, if not a bit breezy. That's kind of one of the caveats to the forecast. I don't love the winds. They're going to be getting pretty strong today. They're already starting off at a decent note out of the west-southwest at 22 kilometers per hour. It's 17 degrees here in downtown Winnipeg, partly cloudy skies, and that barometric pressure rising, humidity at 86%. So we are dealing with much the same as we saw yesterday. We're going to keep an eye on a low pressure system that brings a strong chance, about 60% by Environment and Climate Change Canada's forecast, of rain and thunderstorms. Particularly that risk comes into the later morning and into the afternoon it hovers as well. So we could be getting it at any point. It won't be terribly organized, very scattered, not a ton of accumulation for rain, but still rainy nonetheless. Temperatures a little bit cooler today. 22 degrees are high when 23 is typical. Much of the River Valley will see highs in that same area. Meanwhile, overnight in Winnipeg, we'll start to see rainfall taper off around midnight if we get it at all. And then from there, temperatures dip to 14. Wind stays strong, setting the stage for some sunshine tomorrow. Lots on the way. 24 degrees as we rise above seasonal and setting the stage for a very sunny and warm rest of the week. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. We've got so much more Your Morning Winnipeg on the other side. Don't you dare go anywhere.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A cat named Erebus has broken a world record. ABC's Danny New has this story.
This is Erebus, and he's now sitting with a Guinness World Record in tow.
4,
5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 on this one.
With 8 toes on one paw and 7 on all the others, this Maine Coon has 29 toes, breaking the 28-toe record that has stood since 2002. And he's being quite humble about the whole thing.
Very relaxing to be a world record holder.
Right.
He's like, it's just another day for him.
A little Polly baby girl.
His parents, Kendra and Hunter, own a breeding cattery in Wisconsin called Blue Northern Maine Coons.
Good boy, too.
But his biological parents, specifically Dad, can help explain the historic appendages. His father, Senzano, has 6 toes on each paw, coming to a total of 24. The normal amount for a cat is 18.
Dad is from Russia and Mom is from here in the U.S. He's doing really good. He's eating, drinking.
But what really sets Erebus apart is the fight he put up earlier this year after suffering from pneumonia and an aspiration event only a few months after he was born in March. For the record, Kendra says this was unrelated to the toes.
Hey, baby. Erebus.
But Erebus even had to spend time in an oxygen machine, and Kendra says the vets told her his outlook did not look good.
Would you call that a miraculous recovery?
I would say that's definitely a miraculous recovery because his lungs they're supposed to be black. They were completely white.
But just a few months later, they say his lungs look completely normal now. So does that mean Erebus will soon be heading to a new home?
He's staying with us.
Erebus is named after the Greek god of darkness because of his shadowy colored fur, but obviously the comparison stopped there. No way someone who napped in the sunshine for our entire 30-minute interview could be the god of darkness. In New York, for ABC News, I'm Danny New.
It's a chance for music lovers of all genres and ages to come together. The 12th annual Whoop and Holler Folk Festival is back this coming weekend. It's a celebration of music, art, nature, and community. And joining us now to tell us more about what people can expect are the artistic director, Josh Wright, and producer-in-residence, Joe Iasetti. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Rochelle.
Thank you so much for joining us. Well, thank you. And let's just take us back to 12 years ago, how this all began for you, Josh. You started this, you're one of the co-founders.
One of the co-founders, started it right out of high school, essentially, with a love for local music and creating an experience that isn't offered in a lot of rural communities. Okay. So finding a space that was perfect for nature, where you could enjoy live music together with family and friends, a safe setting with musicians from all over Canada and Manitoba.
Okay.
So we wanted to create that experience right in Portage la Prairie.
And it's in Portage, so describe what it looks like, feels like. Paint a picture for me.
So it takes place on Cottonwood Acres on the Saturday. And people can come on Friday night and start camping. They can set up a tent, bring whatever they need for the experience for their weekend. And so there's cottonwood trees and gardens and a lovely backdrop that you can enjoy the music to. So the cottonwoods sort of tower over you as you're enjoying the music. You can wander around the tall reed grass. There's a 900-meter cottonwood trail and pollinator flowers from all over Manitoba.
So it's really a peaceful experience while listening to some really great music.
Yes.
And Joe, how did you get on board? You just started about 2 weeks ago. Tell us a little bit about how your expertise around the world is helping here.
So I'm here as a volunteer, but I'm traveling around Canada, visiting different folk festivals. And I'm glad to be inside of this festival to learn with them. I used to work with festival productions, and I also want to bring some Brazilian music to spread in Canada.
Okay.
So this is the main proposal. So we change some information, some ideas. It'd be a nice experience.
And so what are you expecting? Is this something very similar to what you've seen around the world, or is it very different?
Some aspects I think that's very important to focus here at really a folk festival, and I think that is very important. It's very important was to keep traditions and pass this away for the future generations. So, because nowadays they forget even how things are done. You just click a button, everything is there. So they need to understand and keep this, because tradition is not in the past, it's to the future.
Right.
So I think this is very important, and congratulations the team that are doing a very good job.
Well, we're so glad you're here to witness it as well. So this is really great for the whole family, right? There's something going on for everybody.
It is. So all sorts of music for all tastes, from blues music to folk music, but also children's performers as well. So there's entertainment for the kids. There's interactive workshops that people can take part in from group songwriting. We're going to write a song in 60 minutes. That's one challenge that we have a workshop host from Minneapolis coming up for that.
Okay.
And he's doing folk fest style jams around the campfire later on. They're very popular at Winnipeg Folk Festival.
That sounds fun.
So he's bringing that there. And then we have other workshops and activities, nature trails, as we mentioned, food vendors and artisans, and music from around kind of covering the globe.
So if someone wants to check it out, what do they need to do? Do they just go online?
They can go to whoopandholler.com/tickets, and they can learn about the festival there as well. All the details are posted.
Well, thank you to both of you, and have fun this weekend. If you want more information, we have a link on our website as well. Thank you.
All right.
For all those heading out to Whoop and Holler, Mother Nature is going to be smiling down on you with some lovely weather. Currently also the case. It's very pleasant indeed. 17 degrees over in downtown Winnipeg. Clear-ish sunny skies. Winds decently strong out of the west-southwest at 22 clicks. Pressure rising, humidity sitting at 86%. Sunshine to start, but as you can see, we've got this fairly intense low-pressure system really hovering around Dauphin. You've got some light rain there. Some thunderstorms could be added to the mix, not only for you folks in the parkland, but that system's likely to migrate further into the southeast, joining us here in Winnipeg later on this morning or early afternoon. With it, a high of 22 degrees, some very strong northwesterly winds at 30, gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. Likely those winds are going to stay strong overnight. Skies remain pretty cloudy, and we have that chance of rain and thunderstorms as well, tapering off by midnight. Temperatures up to 14. And then tomorrow, sunny, clear, and beautiful, 24 degrees Wednesday and Thursday, even hotter into the weekend.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to show you some fun video before we say goodbye. We kick things off with a couple in North Dakota that have found their dream job.
Hey, Scout! Good morning, Scout.
Kim and Brenda Schrader are retired, so they decided to launch K9 Outdoor Adventures this summer. They pick up local pups for daily outings. Kim used to drive a semi, so she says this little bus is no sweat and way more fun. All the dogs know exactly what to do. They run onto the bus, pick a seat, and enjoy the ride to the dog park.
Okay, new dream career unlocked.
Absolutely.
It's incredible.
What an adventure.
No kidding.
And now to a wife who can't give up her first love. Bethany loves her rocks. She's an avid hiker, shows her passion for the big, beautiful boulders with hugs everywhere she goes. Her husband knows he can't compete with Mother Nature.
But he can get her a big rock to wear on her finger, which will help.
That's
a good
the rock
deal.
She'll be hugging forever. And then finally, a sure way to fall in love. Whoa. I never meant to call you when you came. This woman showing off her skydiving experience, wondering if she and her instructor were in love with each other. From the flirty jump to holding hands during the free fall to sitting on his lap on the way back. Looks like love. I could see this happening. I did this, and it's such an emotional high when you're flying in the sky like this, and your life is basically in his hands. But that's it for us. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow.